A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio. A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The Adventures of Red Ryder. Out of the West comes America's famous fighting cowboy.
Well, Red, you too, Deckard. This here sure looks like it might be a white Christmas.
It does at that, Buckskin, much as I hate to agree with you. But this time of the year, when folks is feeling all friendly and neighborly, why...
Good night. See what's happening? Someone's trying to raid that freight wagon, bringing all the Christmas presents in from Junction City. Let's get that buzzard fast. Out there, boys. Home those things. Go. Well, there's no doubt of two things. Our Red Ryder story has something to do with Christmas, and on top of that, it's not all easy sledding for the big red-headed cowboy. And now, because this is a special Christmas story, the bakers of Langendorf Bread want you to enjoy every single moment of it without any interruption. I'm not even supposed to take time to talk about their bread tonight. So, for the next 24 minutes, just sit back and enjoy a fine, fast-moving Red Ryder Christmas story with the compliments of the bakers of Langendorf Bread, America's finest. Action-packed and heartwarming story of the West that lives forever. With Christmas Eve just a matter of hours away, Red Ryder, Buckskin, and Red's Aunt the Duchess are at Painted Valley working feverishly over last-minute Christmas lists, while little Beaver is just leaving school for the Yuletide holiday.
Have a wonderful Christmas, children, and I'll see you all back here at school again right after the New Year.
Thank you, Beaver. Hi, little Beaver. We do hope you have just a wonderful Christmas, don't we, Timmy? You bet we do, Susie. Merry Christmas to you, Susie and Timmy. And then you wish you'll be sure you have a good Christmas.
We will, little Beaver, so it won't be like last year when our Mom and Pop were alive.
Folks have been nice to us, awful nice. We don't care if we don't get presents. Christmas isn't just for presents. Christmas is... Well, Christmas is what's inside you.
Sure. When our folks were alive, we got plenty, little Beaver. Sue and me don't need presents.
Well, maybe you can come over to Peanut Valley and see our tree. We let them, you know. Bye, Lila. Merry Christmas, Jenny, with a Peanut Valley. Here, them Sealtest. Now we got to get them home to Red Ryder. Get them up, Captain. Yes.
Come on, Duchess. What would you like for Christmas?
Oh, doggone it, Red. I don't want you spending any money on me. Maybe I'm getting kind of old, but, well, just having you around and being the kind of man you are, well, that's Christmas present enough for me. 365 days a year.
Well, tinsels to torch, Red. The old gals are getting soft in her old age.
Old age? Why, you ball, bean, barnacle, buffalo-faced, slithering booby. The best Christmas present you can give me is to retire to the old cowboy's home.
Now, what would an old cowboy want with Buckskin?
Well, now, looks like little Beaver's coming home from school at last.
Yep, and he sure looks... Well, I'll be dogged. He don't nother.
Don't what?
Don't look happy, that's what.
Well, that's funny. Youngster does look unhappy. Well, we'll soon be finding out the whys and wherefores.
Hi, Red Ryder. Hello, Honey Duchess.
Hey, I'm here, too, you know.
Howdy, Buckskin.
Well, now, that there's better. Now, young fella, we all would like...
Listen to me, Buckskin. Red Ryder, you getting me Christmas presents yet?
Well, why? What difference does it make if we've gotten your presents yet?
Maybe there's something the child's like, Red. Now, is that it, little beaver?
Yes, that's right. If you don't buy him presents already, you know what me want. Me want him to give me the money.
Now, hold on there, son. Give you the money? What's the idea of that?
You asking me what me want him and me telling you. If you don't want him to do it, that be him up to you. Me sorry, Red Ryder. Me just telling you the truth. See you later, maybe.
Well, money for Christmas.
Now, sir, when I was top deputy to Wild Bill Hickok, I got to learn a lot about engines, and I'm telling you that there ain't no way of rightly figuring them out sometimes, and this here's one of the times.
Well, he's not going to get the money, I'll tell you that.
No, and he's not going to get any presents neither if we don't saddle up a couple of horses and get in the devil's hole.
Come on, then. Let's get our horses out of the barn and head for town. And nobody around here is going to have enough Christmas to put in your eye.
Sure nice weather for... Red, is that 3 people down there hoofing it for town?
Where, Dutch? Oh, yeah, I see him now. Oh, you know who that is? The Lockhart children and Weary Wilson.
The Lockhart youngins? You mean them there 2 orphans, Red? Susie and Tim?
Uh-huh. I don't for a minute like the idea of them being with Weary Wilson either. The town's no good in Loafer.
Now, Red, that don't sound like you picking on a man just because he's out of work.
Out of work, my eye. Weary Wilson's out of work because he won't work.
Oh, he does odd jobs, Red. I see him.
Sure, he does odd jobs. And the minute he gets 4 bits in his pocket, he quits until that's used up. He's no company for 2 nice youngsters like the Lockhart children.
Well, Red, it ain't as if their mom and pop were alive.
To use your own expression, Duchess. Oh, fiddlesticks. Let's let it go. It's too close to Christmas to get my back up over anything. Come on, let's shake up these Mustangs and get into Josh Wentworth's store. Well, doggone it, Josh. Haven't you even got a bobsled?
Red, I ain't got nothing more left for Christmas than some puppy biscuits and a half a dozen marbles. Never did see so much stuff sold so fast as this year. Oh, I got things for grown folks, but toys and kids' presents sold out. And I won't get no more till the order I telegraph for comes in late this afternoon.
He comes in on what and how, Josh?
Well, you see, I telegraphed over to Junction City, and the wholesale house there to send me a whole shipment over on a freight wagon. Yes, sir, and a nice shipment, too. Just about everything a girl or boy'd want.
Well, Josh, in that case, why don't we give you our order? You can put the things aside when the freighter arrives, and we'll come in tomorrow bright and early and pick them up.
Good idea, Red. That way you'll be sure of having what you want. Well, wait till I get me a pencil.
Sure wish I could figure out what's happened to little Beaver all of a sudden. Well, look who just came in. Weary Wilson.
Well, I shouldn't worry coming in. Maybe he's buying his Christmas present here, too.
Buying with what? I'd like to know.
Oh, I got my pencil now, so let's have it. Oh, howdy, Weary. I'll be with you in a minute. Just as soon as I take an order from Red.
It's all right, Joyce. Hello, folks. Hi, Weary. Well, Josh, let's get that list down, huh?
Oh, I want a nice bobsled for the youngster. One of them flexible kind, Josh.
Uh-huh.
And put me down for a baseball's catcher's mitt and a regular lead bat.
Okay, Buckskip. Anything else?
Well, yes, some marbles and tops for spring, when it gets here.
Marbles and tops.
And I want a knife about the button sides, Josh, and a crayon set and some books that he can color.
Oh, and don't forget that toy train he's been wanting.
You folks might just as well take the whole freight wagon at this rate. Find me out, it looks like.
Freight wagon? What freight wagon?
Well, Josh is all out of toys for kids' presents. But he's got a load of new things coming in on the freight wagon.
Oh. Like he says, there won't be much left for no one else the way you're ordering things. Well, Weary, wouldn't you say that's our business? Lots of kids around here could do some of them things you're ordering. Except they ain't going to get any.
Chuckins, that's true every place, my friend.
Just the same, I don't see why one little youngster's got to get so many. What's stopping you from rectifying these injustices you're talking about by going to work and earning enough money to buy some yourself?
Now.
I work, Ryder. Work lots, I do. Well, maybe you do, Weary. But that's your business just as this is ours.
What do you mean, maybe I do? I work plenty.
Will you get that chip off your shoulder? After all, this is Christmas, you know.
Yeah, fine Christmas. You rich folks buying everything just for one kid.
Doggone it, Weary. Are you going to lay off now?
I don't see you offering me no job.
No? Well, if you'll really work and not quit after you've got $1 under your belt, you can come out to Painted Valley and start today.
Big-hearted, ain't you? Let me tell you something, Mr. Ryder. I wouldn't work for you. I don't want to work for you, and I ain't going to work for you.
Cheap talk to Catawallen. Why not? Red offered you a job, didn't he?
Oh, sure. Sure he offered me a job. Just so as he can try and button to my business just like he does everyone else's.
Doggone you lazy good-for-nothing grub-line rider. Take that back and take it back right now.
Red, now don't go starting no trouble in here.
Duchess, this is no trouble at all.
You're going to let me go, Ryder? All right, then. Hey, Ryder, you're going to be sorry for knocking me down.
Am I, Weary? Here, let me help you up. I'm just sorry you made me hit you.
You got no business saying I won't work.
Look, fella, why not prove I'm wrong by going to work?
Why, sure. That is, if you don't up and quit third day, you're there.
Well, how about it, Weary? Want to come out to Painted Valley? Can we have another bunk made up?
Can I come out after Christmas?
Oh, for Pete's sake, is that the way to act after a person offers you a job?
Never mind, Josh. Let it go. Come on, Duchess. Buckskin.
As soon as that freighter gets to town, Red, I'll unpack the stuff and have all your things in a great big box waiting for you.
Thanks, Josh.
Thanks to you, Red. Thanks for the business.
And Tommy Hawk to TP's, Red. You better get out to Painted Valley and
No,
take
come on,
that
Buckskin. Weary's old enough to make up his own mind.
Bye, everyone, and the best darn Christmas ever.
Well, I sure hope that Weary Wilson shows up and reports for work tomorrow.
Always the optimist, aren't you, Buckskin? You expect that Weary's going to turn over a new...
Tarnation, Red, now what?
You see what I see? Over there by the hitch rail.
Oh, well, chopped it down and called me Stumpy. Little Beaver. Yeah, I thought we left him back home. What's he doing here in town?
That's what I'd like to know.
And that's what I'm going to find out. Hey, son. Little Beaver. Come here.
He sees us, Red.
He sure does, and he looks like a kid what's been clutched in the jam closet.
Come on, shake it up, Button.
Howdy, Aunt Duchess. Me think of me finding you in town.
What's the idea of coming to town yourself, son?
Me just want 'em. Me think of 'em.
Yes, you just wanted. What?
You going to give me money for Christmas?
No, we're not. And what's more, I don't want my question answered with another question. Understand?
Well, me coming to Devil's Hole to... Oh, look, Red Ryder, there be 'em Sue and Timmy Lockhart.
We seen the Lockhart children with Weary Wilson when he was riding to town. But now you ain't answered your Uncle Red yet about what you're doing here.
Okay. Me tell him you.
Well, thanks.
Me want to see him about Christmas presents.
Now, look here, little Beaver. Any Christmas presents you get, we'll do the picking out. And what's more, we'll...
Heavens to Betsy, Red. Stop climbing the youngster's frame. Now, did it ever occur to you that maybe he wanted to get a Christmas present himself and he could give to you?
Oh, I'll be doggone. Sure, of course. Well, son, I'm as sorry can be. Forgive me.
And me, too.
Me no coming to get him you presents.
Oh? Well, then why did you come to town?
Oh, for goodness sake, Red. Can't you see? He don't want to tell you he come to town to buy you something. Now, give the child a little privacy, won't you?
Yeah, Duchess, you're right. And I do. I apologize all over again. Just the same, son, we're heading for home, and we're taking you with us.
Okay. First me say him goodbye to Sue and Timmy, and then get him papoose. Meet him you downstreet where your horse is tied up.
You know something, folks? If this wind changes about, we're apt to have a real white Christmas.
Sure love white Christmases. Nothing like seeing the snow on the trees and the white on the ground to make a fella realize what Christmas stands for.
All of a sudden now, Buckskin's a philosopher.
Philosopher, nothing, Duchess. He's just in his second childhood. What would like Santa Claus to bring baby Blotches?
Sure, I'll get you. I ain't proud, boyfriend.
Well, tell me.
Well, what I'd like is one of them there mouth organs.
Mouth organs? What be a mouth organ?
Oh, mouth organ's another name for harmonicas, son.
Yes, sirree. Sure admire to have me a harmonica. I'm a-getting real musical in my old... Oh, that is my middle age.
Well, you just write a note to Santa Claus. That's providing that you can write, and you tell him all about it. Mouth organ, big kid. That's what you are.
Well, Duchess, I guess we'd all be better off if... Oh, hello. What's that coming over the hill toward us?
Look at my big freight wagon, Red Ryder.
Freight wagon? Go on, Red. I bet you that there's a freighter that's bringing all in that Christmas things from Junction City that Josh Wentworth ordered.
Christmas things? What you mean?
Well, Josh got himself sold out, little beaver, and he had to order more stock for his store for presents for folks to buy.
You mean things like dolls and toys?
Dolls? Now, that's a fine question for a boy to be asking.
Cupid to cuddling, Red. You think our half-fine friend here has gone and got himself into love?
Me not in love. Me...
Cats, look, will you? Someone's trying to hold up that freight wagon.
Why, the sheep stealing vomit. Come on, Red. Let's get that buzzard.
Move there, sister.
All right, out there, fella. Turn up the dust. Come on, thunder. Little Beaver, which way did he turn here? Pick up that crook's trail.
He's tapping his corner.
Son, what are you stopping for?
Me losing trail.
Oh, lost the trail? Why, even without my glasses, I can see sign here like the palm of my hand.
If you see trail, you follow him. Me no can see him.
Well, I'll be ham, son. Even I can see where he went. Come on, let's get back after him.
No. Now, hold it, old-timer.
Huh? Well, don't you want to catch that there parsimonious, persnickety polecat?
Yeah, I did, but looks like Little Beaver changed my plans. Anyhow, with the start he's now got, we'd probably never find him in those rocks.
Red, of course we didn't see the maverick close up. But now, wasn't there something about him that looked, well, just a mite familiar?
Well, he sure enough was wearing a mackinaw.
I cry over spilled milk. Besides, if we're going to get home, let's get there.
Mary Wilson. That's who it looked like.
Now,
Mary
Tuckers, will you stop trying to play Sherlock Holmes and turn that pony around? The freight wagon's safe now. If we don't get home, we'll never get to Josh's tomorrow to pick up our packages for Christmas.
Oh, Red Ryder, if you don't beat all get out and stubborn, I never seen the likes of you.
Duchess, it's just 8 hours till Christmas Eve. Don't you think you could lay off me just for tonight?
But lollipops to lozenges, Red. Why hide all the presents we just lugged home from Josh's store down in the barn? Tell us that. Now, that's all we want to know.
I did try to explain, but you both were so busy arguing with me, you wouldn't listen.
If you mean that silly excuse you gave us about not wanting little Beaver to find his presents before we got them put in his stocking tonight, I'm telling you right to your freckle face, it is ridiculous.
Sure is. Has Little Beaver ever tried to snoop in his presents before? No, of course not.
Well, tell me this. Has Little Beaver ever deliberately stopped trailing someone before, like he did yesterday after that one-man raid in the freight wagon? Never. I'm telling you, there's something wrong or different about that youngster this year.
Well, but that still don't give you no reason to hide all the presents down to the barn, Red.
Well, if you ask me, and I know you didn't, this your hiding the presents has got a lot more in it than you're letting on, Mr. Ryder, if you ask me.
All right, I'll admit it. I didn't want you to find out I'd bought you a harmonica, Buckskin.
Bought me a That's got nothing to do with Little Beaver.
Oh, Red, for pity's sake, what's come over you this Christmas?
Well, I guess I'll have no peace without telling you, so here goes. Remember yesterday, Duchess, when you started to say the fellow who tried to raid the freight wagon was dressed like Weary Wilson?
Yeah, but...
All right, you just thought it was Weary. I'm sure it was.
So?
So, in my own peculiar way, I've put two and two together, and I've got a feeling that after the way Weary acted in town yesterday, plus trying to stick up the wagon full of Christmas stuff, that knowing how much we ordered, he just might come out here and try to help himself to it.
Well, of all the... Well, Red, all I can say is I'm surprised at you. Just plain, ordinary, everyday surprise.
My beloved Aunt, surprised enough. That's the end of my story. Or it...
Billy, the kid, the bushwhackers, what's that?
While you weren't looking, I set up a shotgun trap in the barn door. Come on.
Red, what are we running for?
To try and catch the crook who'd break in to steal Christmas presents. Undoubtedly Weary.
Hey, Red, look at it. Just running around the back of the barn. Three youngsters.
Youngsters?
It sure is. Little Beaver, you stop right where you are.
Well, I'll be hogtied. It is Little Beaver.
Little Beaver and them there two Lockhart young'uns. Timmy and his sister.
Little Beaver, come here. Young man, did you hear me?
Me hearing you, Red Ryder. Me come. And you saw him dirty trick, put him shotgun on barn door.
I pulled a dirty trick.
Little Beaver, now tell the truth. What were you doing trying to get into the barn,
Me no tell. Well, I'll tell if he won't. No, Timmy, no say him nothing.
Little Beaver, we've got to tell the truth.
Well, it's time someone did, and if our youngster won't, you Lockhart youngsters go right ahead.
Well, Little Beaver told us that...
Now, hold it, Timmy.
What's wrong with it?
Over there by those aspens. Isn't that Weary Wilson trying to sneak away?
Grave, it's a gooses. It sure is, Weary.
So that's what you were trying to do, Little Beaver. Help Weary Wilson escape again.
No, Red Ryder. Me not knowing where he will.
Red, put that gun away.
I'm not going to shoot him, Duchess. Just going to throw a few shots over his
Wait,
ears to
please
stop
don't.
him.
All right, Weary. Turn around now and head this way. We're just a little more than anxious to talk to you.
Wait, look at him. You plumb near scared the life right out of me.
Shake it up, mister. We haven't got all day.
Hey, don't, Red. Don't. Help me. All I done was come out here like you asked me. To take that job, that is. When I heard that shotgun go off and seen you come a-running, I got panicked and started to sneak off.
That there's a likely story.
It certainly is. And you might have gotten away with it, too, with Little Beaver stalling us the way he did.
Red Ryder, me not even see him wearing Wilson.
Honest, Mr. Ryder, Little Beaver's telling the truth.
He is telling the truth.
I'm sorry to say I don't believe it.
Me tell him truth. Me telling you exactly what happened.
Finally.
Remember me asking you for money for Christmas?
Yes?
Me wanted money to buy him presents for Timmy and Susie Lockhart. They be him orphans, and they'll get him Christmas presents.
Well, for gosh sakes, why didn't you say so?
Yeah, and what's that got to do with this, anyhow?
Me know you put him presents in barn, so me bring him Timmy and Susie here to give them some of my presents.
Give them your presents?
You betcha. Learn them in Sunday school. Much better give them than to get them.
Well, Little Beaver, I don't know just what to say to beg your pardon in this, except that... Now, wait a minute. That doesn't explain Weary and his actions.
And I guess nobody can explain with me, Red. You see, I'm all alone in this world, and that kind of made me understand these here two Lockhart young'uns and feel sorry for them. And I decided I'd give Timmy and Susie a good Christmas, even if it was just for this 1 year.
So you tried to hold up the freight wagon?
Well, ma'am, I ain't saying I didn't. But all I was going to take was a present apiece for the two of them. Honest. So help me.
Then why'd you come out here today?
Because I got to thinking it over, and I decided to go to work. Maybe if I saved enough money to adopt these two kids. You see, since just three of us is all alone, I reckoned it might be nicer if we each had at least somebody.
That blame it, Red. Well, what are we all standing out here for? Let's get inside and act like human beings ourselves. Let's make this one a real Christmas.
The best Christmas ever, Duchess.
Auntie Duchess from now on, Susan.
Ma'am, that same goes for me. You're real people, all of you.
We are. How about you, and especially Little Beaver? You two really showed us what Christmas should mean.
Christmas mean 'em only one thing. Everybody being brothers. Nobody fight 'em with brothers. Just love 'em. And that make 'em good world.
Yeah, that there goes for me, too.
Huh. Not too sure anybody loves you, you fossil-faced backsliders. Thank you.
What? Not even if I play my mouth off with a harmonica for you, Duchess? Don't say I can play a nice little Christmas carol I learned myself this morning.
Hey, Christmas carol? That's great. Go ahead, you start it, Buckskin. We'll all sing it along with you while we wish everybody everywhere all the joy and contentment the good Lord meant for us to have. Go on, give us the note. Silent night, holy night, This special Christmas program was sponsored by the Bakers of Langendorf Bread, America's finest. The Bakers of Langendorf Bread, your announcer Art Gilmore, and the entire Red Ryder cast wish you all a very Merry Christmas. A Merry Christmas to all of you, and...
Happy New Year, everyone!
This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
KHJ and KHJ-FM, the Don Lee stations, Los Angeles. In just a moment, Autolite presents Suspense with Herbert Marshall. It was the night before Christmas, and in Santa Claus' sleigh, the electrical system was plenty okay. The ignition was perfect, worked like a dream, and the sleigh ran so smooth it made Santa beam.
What was Santa's secret, Arnold?
I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "It's no secret at all. It's just Autolite."
Now,
you see, Hap, with all the kids in the world depending on old St. Nick Christmas Eve, he plays safe by replacing old or worn-out parts in his Autolite-equipped sleigh with Autolite original factory parts: resistor spark plugs, stay-throw batteries, distributors, starting motors, coils, generators, wire, and cable. All famous for their Autolite ignition-engineered dependability. Santa does it. Why don't you?
Oh, Arnold, let's switch from Santa to Suspense. Suspense. Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Starring tonight, Mr. Herbert Marshall in Anton Leader's production of John Collier's Holiday Story. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Drinks all the way. Oh, what fun. Just rice. Little one horse open shade. And jingle bells.
Rupert!
Yes, my dear.
What on earth are you doing down here in the cellar?
Why, just doing a little digging.
And why, may I ask, have you chosen this day of all days to dig up the cellar floor?
Well, I thought as the weather's been so damp, this would be a good time to plant that little Devil's Garden I told you about.
Devil's Garden? What sort of nonsense is that?
Oh, that was my little joke about it. You see, I've managed to get hold of the spores of several unclassified wild orchids.
Oh.
In their wild state, they bloom under damp masses of leaf mold. The Araucanian Indians call them devil flowers because they appear to brood under the ground.
Well, I'm sure the Araucanian Indians will be very interested if you succeed in growing these ridiculous flowers under the cellar floor. Whom else it will interest, I can't imagine. Ooh, what's that terrible smell?
That's the leaf mold. Chemically identical with the earth blanket they grow under in the wild state. I suppose I should line the pit with concrete so as to prevent seepage from this foreign soil, but I don't suppose there'll be much time for it now, and I do want to get these started before we close the house.
There certainly will not be time for it. Do you realize that we're sailing for America a week from today, and you've made no arrangements whatever? Unless you call digging a hole in the cellar making arrangements. I certainly don't. Devil's Garden, indeed. Sometimes I think you're growing soft to the head, Wilfred.
I suppose it is inconsiderate of me. You see, I've been wanting to try this experiment for a long, long time, but what with my lectures and seminars at the university, there never seemed the time.
Well, there certainly isn't any time for it now. I suppose you've forgotten I made an appointment for you at the barber's this afternoon.
Oh, no. But, must I shave off my beard, Hermione?
I thought we'd been through all that. Of course you must. They don't wear beards in America. Go get your jacket on and do as I tell you.
Yes, Hermione.
And don't forget to take your umbrella. It looks like raining.
Yes, Hermione.
Oh, don't look so put upon, Wilfred.
No,
Someone has to plan things in this house, or you'll never even get to the university in time for your lectures, much less make arrangements for a trip to America.
Oh, I know. But what about my specimens?
There'll be plenty of time to plant your precious Devil's Garden when we get home from America. We're not going to be gone forever, you know. We'll be back here for the holidays.
Yes, of course, back for the holidays. I've forgotten.
Well, try to remember it. And if you can't do that, just do as I tell you. I've been making the plans in this house for 20 years. And if there's any digging to be done, I'll manage that as well. You understand, Wilfred?
Yes, Hermione.
Good. You have just 20 minutes to clean up this mess down here and keep your appointment at the barber's. And when you finish there, I want you to come straight home.
Oh, I wanted to stop and pick up some books I ordered.
Well, all right. But don't loiter the whole afternoon browsing over those old books the way you usually do. Now hurry and clean up this rubbish. Get rid of that smelly stuff. And no more digging, mind you.
Yes, Hermione. Yes, Hermione. How many years has it been since I've been saying that? 10 years, 15, 20? Tear up the rubbish. Yes, Hermione. Don't forget your umbrella. Yes, Hermione. Do this, do that. Yes, Hermione. Yes. How much longer can I stand this?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Miss Markham.
Why, it is Professor Carpenter, isn't it?
Oh, you like me better this way?
Oh, you look ever so much younger without the beard. 20 years at least.
20 years.
You'll be glad to know those books you ordered have finally arrived.
Books?
Phytotomy of Taylor Genotophytes and Coniferous Shrubs of North America. Those are the ones you ordered, aren't they?
Yes, thank you. You're very kind, Miss Markham.
What kind, Professor Carpenter?
Not many young ladies in bookshops would go out of their way to look up rare books for an old professor of botany.
Oh, you're not old, Professor Carpenter. Really, you look... And besides, I adore botany. It's my particular hobby.
Oh, really? You never told me that before, Miss Markham.
I was afraid to. You were so imposing with the beard and all.
Miss Markham.
Yes?
Forgive me if this sounds foolish, but I feel that shaving off my beard is the most important thing I've done for 20 years.
Oh, it is. I'm sure it is. I'm ashamed that I've been so distant with you all this time. Oh, there were times when I almost spoke up. Times when you came in here tired after a day with your students at the university. You seemed so alone, the way I'm alone in the world. I'd like to have asked you to stay a while and talk with me. But some way or other, I wound up by giving you your change and letting you go on your way.
You say you're all alone in the world?
Since my father died.
Did you ever think of marrying?
My father was a very remarkable man. I never found anyone who seemed to measure up to what he led me to expect of men.
Miss Markham.
It's been so long since anyone called me by my first name. I'd like you to, if you want to. It's Marion.
Marion.
And yours?
Wilfred.
Oh. How long have you been alone, Wilfred?
Alone?
Oh, I knew you were a widower, of course, the first time I saw you.
A widower?
I can always tell. There's a certain sadness in a man's eyes. A sweet sadness, I think, when he's been married and then...
A widower. I never thought of it in quite that way.
But perhaps I shouldn't be talking like this. But I've often wondered what she must have been like. Your wife, I mean.
Hermione?
Was that her name?
Yes, Hermione. Not an easy woman to forget. Very strong, always managing things. The house, my wardrobe, my friends. When we dined at the restaurant, she even ordered my food. She was always managing things. You might say she... Yes, she managed herself to death.
Poor woman. She must have loved you very much. But she needn't have put herself out so. It's plain to see you don't need things managed for you.
Is that so?
You need companionship, I think. Someone sympathetic with your work. But the last thing on earth you need is a manager.
How well you put it. The last thing on earth.
Well, at last, you certainly took long enough about it. What are you so pleased about?
I don't know, Hermione. Getting rid of the beard, perhaps. I feel 20 years younger.
Oh, look even smaller. Your face looks triangular or something. I've forgotten your chin was so weak. But never mind that. You can wear it back soon enough after the holidays. Where are you going?
Down in the cellar.
Oh.
I just bought this electric lantern and I thought I'd put it away down there.
Now, whatever possessed you to buy a thing like that?
I don't know. I rather like this lantern. Might come in handy. Who knows?
Now, Wilfred, don't start digging down there again. I've 100 things to do putting the house in order before we leave. I want you to carry these boxes upstairs for me.
Yes, Hermione.
And if you are going down to the cellar, take this along and stuff it into the furnace.
Well, this is my old bathrobe. I may need it.
Nonsense. I bought you a new one. Get rid of it. And don't start pottering down there with that devil's garden or whatever you call it.
I'm through digging, my dear. I think the pit is quite deep enough now for my devil's garden. It would all have to be carefully planned, of course. Just as carefully planned as Hermione was planning the trip to America. We both went about our arrangements as the days passed. I spent all the time I could with Marion, and finally she consented. And then was the last day of the big day.
The day we go to sail for America.
Operator? Operator, are you there? I'm still waiting on that call to Salisbury. Well, put them on quickly. Hello. Is this Paul Holt and Son? It's Mrs. Wilfred Carpenter. Did you receive my letter? Good. Now remember, we'll be back for the holidays and I want the job done without fail. What's that? Oh, no, I'm sure he doesn't suspect anything. Send the bill to me in New York as I instructed you, addressed in my name, of course. Oh, yes, I've already put them in the mail. You get them tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, here you are, Wilfred. Where have you been?
Upstairs. I dismissed the servants.
Dismissed the servants? But I've asked some friends of mine into a farewell tea. Go and tell them it's a mistake.
I'm afraid it's too late now. They've packed and gone.
You have left things up properly. How many times have I told you to leave things to me? I make the plans around here.
Yes, Hermione.
You'll have to do better than this when I plan the trip home, or we'll never in the world be back here for the holidays.
Back here for the holidays, back here for the holidays. Must you keep saying that?
Why not? We are coming back to the holidays, aren't we?
And supposing I were offered a professorship in one of those wealthy American universities.
Nonsense. Americans care nothing for botany.
Luther Burbank is an American.
That's different. What have you ever done except muck around in the dirt with a lot of roots and tubers?
They asked me to lecture. That means something.
Of course they ask you to lecture. Americans will pay to hear any foreigner deliver a lecture. Once. Now, there's no use getting yourself in a state about this, Wilfred. No doubt this extra money will come in very handy when we arrive back
for the holidays.
Precisely. And it's no good you're making a joke of it. Heaven knows where you'd be today if I hadn't got a sense of time.
Yes, my dear Hermione.
And if you've been so foolish as to dismiss the servants, you may empty the ashtrays and straighten up this room while we're waiting for the guests to arrive. I'm going upstairs to change. Call me when they get here.
Yes, Hermione. Marion, it's Wilfred. No, my darling, nothing's wrong. My plans are the same, and first you've changed. Well, we'll meet in New York and be married there. I'll explain why later. You'll have to trust me. Yes, my darling.
Wilfred?
Sorry, I can't talk any longer. Yes, I'll meet you in New York without fail. Until then, my darling.
Wilfred? Were you talking on the phone just now?
Yes, Mary.
Why, what was it?
It was from Freddie Sinclair.
Didn't I hear you say something about meeting somebody in New York?
Oh, yes, old Freddie said he might possibly get over there before we leave. I said, of course, we'd meet him there if he did decide to go.
He's very peculiar. Then all of your friends are peculiar.
Yes, ma'am.
And just look at your jacket. Have you been digging in that cellar again?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, there's no need for it. You can't possibly get that devil's garden thing finished. Go and change your clothes before the guests arrive.
Yes.
Oh, never mind. I see somebody coming up the walk now. Go and let them in.
Yes, ma'am.
Wilfred?
Yes, my dear?
Look out the window. There's Professor and Mrs. Goodenough, but who's that with them?
Well,
Precisely. Freddie Sinclair. Sure, you should have been talking to him on the phone not 3 minutes ago, and now here he is.
Yes, isn't it? As long as you say, Hermione, all my friends are peculiar.
Now, not so peculiar as you. Digging in the cellar an hour before we leave for America. Just look at yourself. And now that I think of it...
Yes, Hermione?
Oh, never mind. Go and let them in.
Well, you've got to ask me something. The hole I'm digging in the cellar.
Oh, good heavens, stop rolling your eyes about that way. One would think you were digging a grave down there instead of a storage bin.
Yes, Hermione.
What's that?
I said yes, Hermione.
Oh, Father, open the door and stop saying yes, Hermione.
I think, my dear, I've said it for the last time.
Suspense, Autolite is bringing you Mr. Herbert Marshall in radio's outstanding theater of thrills, Suspense.
Well, Hap, what kind of presents are you giving your car this Christmas?
My car? Now be sensible, all right.
I am being sensible, Hap, because the most sensible thing every car owner can do is treat his car to Autolite preventive service and Autolite factory parts now. Right now, like Santa does. For with an Autolite checkup now, your car won't let you down later.
Here we go.
Look, Hap, Autolite parts are original factory parts on many makes of our finest cars. The same as those put in the car the day it was made. Resistor spark plugs, safe full batteries, generators, distributors, starting motors, coils, wire, and cable. Your car uses them all. Autolite makes them all. You know, Autolite parts and your Autolite-equipped car go together, like Damon and Pythias, like Duncan and Fife, like Chip and Dale. What's one without the other? Chip and Dale. So don't accept parts that are supposed to be as good. Get Autolite parts, for Autolite parts are built for your car, Santa's car, everybody's car.
Oh, you're wonderful. Why, you've got Santa and everybody switching to Autolite.
So, friends, follow the footsteps of Dasher, Dancer, Dunder, and Blitzen, and whip on down to your nearest Autolite service station or the dealer who sells your make of car, and ask for original factory parts and service.
Okay, Harlow. Right now, here's Suspense. And now, Autolite brings back to our Hollywood soundstage Mr. Herbert Marshall, starring in a gripping tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Back for the holidays. Hermione was so positive we would be back for the holidays. That last afternoon, pouring tea for a few friends who had come in to say last-minute farewells, she kept reiterating it.
Now, mind you, Hermione, don't let those Americans lure your husband with one of their fat university jobs. We absolutely must have you with us for the holidays. He will be back, I promise.
It's not absolutely certain, of course.
Wilfred, what do you mean it's not certain? Of course it's certain.
After all, Wilfred, old boy, you've contracted to lecture for only 2 months.
That's right. But then, of course, anything may happen.
Oh, Wilfred adores being unpredictable. Now, what other man would decide the very day, mind you, before leaving for America, to dig a great hole in the floor of the cellar? In the cellar? Yes, he's going to put some unclassified wild orchids down there. A devil's garden, if you please. Oh, my God, so mysterious. Oh, my That's Wilfred, though. It's really quite simple, once you find out what he's up to. Now, take that telephone call he put through to you a few minutes before you arrived, Freddie.
To me?
Of course. Wilfred wanted to surprise me about your plan to meet us in New York next month. Wasn't that why he called? To ask you not to mention it?
But, my dear Hermione, Wilfred couldn't possibly have telephoned me within the Pops Tower. I've been walking in the park since 3.
He didn't telephone you?
How could he? And there's am I going to America.
No, thanks, Eddie. You may as well own up. Hermione has found me out again.
But, Wilfred, old chap, I really don't.
You see what a poor liar Wilfred makes. He's as red as a beast. Aren't you ashamed of yourself, Professor? Bringing poor Hermione along like that. And as for you, Freddie, I'm furious. You said nothing to us about going to America.
But look here, old girl. I've been trying to tell everyone.
Oh, stuff and nonsense. The game's gone on long enough. Besides, we must start getting ready. It was marvelous of all of you to come in to say goodbye. And don't worry about Wilfred's little joke. I will bring him back for the holidays. You may rely on it.
Oh, believe her. For years, she's been promising me for dinner parties, garden parties, committees. And the promises have always been kept. This time they wouldn't be. I'd see to that. The servants were gone for good, the farewells all said. I had time to the minute how long it would take to fit in the hole in the cellar, my devil's garden. Upstairs in the bedroom, I undressed, folded my clothes over a chair, put on my old bathrobe. Then I opened the door into Hermione's room. Hermione, have you a moment to spare?
Of course, dear. I'm just finished.
Well, I'm coming here for a moment. There's something rather extraordinary here.
Oh, good heavens, Wilfred. What are you lounging about in that filthy old bathrobe for? I told you to put it into the furnace.
I'll do it today. Yes, I really will. I promise.
Well, high time. Now, what is it you want to show me?
In the bathroom here. Just look. Who in the world is supposed to drop a gold chain down the bathtub drain?
Nobody has, of course. Nobody wears such a thing.
Then what's it doing there?
Well, I don't see anything.
Here. I'll hold this flashlight for you. If you lean right over, you can see it shining deep down.
Such a lot of nonsense. Just as well. I don't see it, Wilfred.
You're looking, Hermione. In just a moment.
Wilfred, I absolutely refuse. Wilfred, what are you doing? Take your hands off my neck.
I will, Hermione, just as soon as I finish the arrangements for my trip to America.
What are you talking about?
You thought you were the only one who could plan things, didn't you, Hermione? Well, I've been making some plans of my own this past week. In exactly 1 minute and 45 seconds, you'll be dead. You see, I planned it very accurately.
You'll never get away with it.
I thought you'd say that, Hermione, but I won't get away with it. You won't mind the smell of the leaf roll down in the cellar when I take you down there today. Yes, that's where you're going, Hermione. Into my devil's garden that annoys you so much.
My friends, they all expect me back for the holidays. And if I don't come back, they'll start asking questions.
No, they won't. No, because you write them letters, Hermione, on the typewriter, as you always do. They'll be signed H, in that neat, cryptic way you always sign your notes to your friends.
Oh, then let me off now.
No.
It won't work, Wilfred. You were never any good at planning.
Ah, but I've changed. I've learned from watching you all these years.
The lecture people in America. They'll be expecting you to travel with your wife.
I will be traveling with my wife, but not my present wife, Hermione.
Huh?
Fortunately, I never met you. I'll write a few letters home for you, then fewer and fewer. I might even come back alone in a year or two and sell the place till you died in America. Nobody will ever suspect that you're lying under the floor of this cellar in this very house.
Wilfred, it won't work, I tell you. That pit you dug in the cellar.
I can assure you, my dear Hermione, it will serve its purpose well.
Wilfred, you must...
Sorry, my dear, I've got to get this done according to plan. You have just 5 seconds to say your prayers.
Wilfred, you must listen. The cellar is...
Oh, Stuart. Yes, sir? My wife is indisposed. She'll be taking her meals in our stateroom. For the whole voyage? Yes, for the whole voyage.
Well, I trust your wife is feeling better this morning, Professor Carpenter.
A little, yes. Not yet well enough to leave her cabin.
I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, here's a copy of the radiogram you sent for your wife last evening.
Oh, yes, thank you. I'll just check it over. That was here.
What is it? Did the typist make a mistake?
No. No, nothing important. She can correct it later. For a moment, I had a feeling that Hermione had been leaning over my shoulder again, correcting what I had written. She always did. I had written a radiogram to Professor Goodenough and his wife. Have not been out of the cabin the whole beastly trip. Wilfred well. Doubt will be back for the holidays. The copy read, no doubt will be back for the holidays. Exactly what Hermione would have written. Well, the rest of the voyage was uneventful. And Marion and I met in New York just as I had planned. Just as I had planned. Professor and Mrs. Carpenter, we have reservations, I believe.
Oh, yes. We've been expecting you, sir. Boy? Yes, sir? Take Professor and Mrs. Carpenter's luggage up to their suite. You know, Mrs. Carpenter, you're quite a surprise.
Huh?
The letter reserving the rooms was so, thorough. I was expecting an older, more forbidding sort of person, frankly, ma'am.
Oh, no. As a matter of fact, we are just married.
Yeah.
But my letter reserving the room?
I wrote the letter, my dear, and signed it. Mrs. Wilfred Carpenter, just as a joke.
What a cunning old fox you are, Wilfred.
Well, that I think that I am, rather.
Oh, I almost forgot. A letter for you, Mrs. Carpenter.
That's peculiar. I wonder who I'm with.
Well, we'll find out in good time, honey. Come along. We're keeping the boy waiting. Like a cold, brisk shower to put a man to rights.
Wilfred, this letter...
Oh, yes, sir. Darling, dry my hair, will you?
Yes, dear. It seems to be a bill of some sort from a building contractor in Salisbury.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, Barbara, not your own.
Thank you, Miss. Let's see this bill or whatever it says.
It's very puzzling, Wilfred. You were a widower, weren't you? I mean, Hermione isn't still alive.
Oh, good heavens, no. Let's have that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dear Madam, it's a good one. This is to acknowledge your order together with the keys to your house in Ronston Place. Our man had no difficulty in finding the place where your husband had begun the excavation in the cellar. But apparently he changed his mind at the last moment and filled it in again.
Oh, what is it, Wilfred?
Our man will begin digging tomorrow You may rest assured it will be a professional job and will be completed in ample time for your surprise Christmas present to your husband. We are happy to be conspirators with you in this thoughtful gesture, and hope that Professor Carpenter will be pleased with the results of our work that he so quaintly calls his Devil's Garden. Very truly yours, Paul Holt and Sons Contracts.
What does it mean, Wilfred?
It means that Hermione was right. I will be back for the holidays. Back for the holidays. Back for the holidays! Back for the holidays! Back for the holidays!
Thank you, Herbert Marshall, for a splendid performance. Mr. Marshall will return in just a moment.
Jingle bells, jingle through the snow. Your car's all happy, full of pep, with all right, you know. Right you are, and Dyke Cornelius electrical problems won't keep your car down when you stop at the shop that features Autolite parts and service. Sure as Kris Kringle means Christmas, Autolite original factory parts and service top the town. So, friends, stop in tomorrow at your friendly Autolite service station or the dealer who sells your make of car and ask for original factory parts and service.
Autolite? You'll find Autolite service stations listed in your classified telephone directory under automotive electrical equipment. And remember, your Autolite ignition system is the lifeline of your car.
Yes, friends, and remember, too, Autolite means spark plug. Ignition engineered resistor spark plug. Autolite means batteries. Stay full battery. Autolite means ignition system, the lifeline of your car.
And now here again is Mr. Herbert Marshall.
It has been a pleasure to appear tonight on Suspense, and it is my pleasure to extend to all of you, for Autolite, Tony Leader and his Suspense cast and crew, and myself, best wishes for the holiday season. Next week, on radio's outstanding Theater of Thrills, you will hear William Bendix in another gripping study in
Suspense.
Herbert Marshall will soon be seen with Margaret O'Brien in the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer production of The Secret Garden. Tonight's suspense play was dramatized by Robert Tallman from a story by John Collier. Music was composed by Lucian Moorwork and conducted by Lud Gluskin. The entire production was under the direction of Anton M. Leader. In the coming weeks, Suspense will present such stars as Ethel Barrymore, Dana Andrews, Robert Montgomery, Danny Kaye, and many others. So make it a point to listen each Thursday to Suspense, radio's outstanding Theater of Thrills. And next Thursday, same time, hear William Bendix.
This is the Autolite Suspense Show. While we in North America are enjoying an abundant Christmas, millions of people in Europe are still hungry. Your $10 sent to CARE, C-A-R-E, will go a long way toward putting some less fortunate European family back on the road to health, happiness, and freedom. Good night. Merry Christmas from Autolite.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Remember, a Hallmark card when you care enough to send the very best. Tonight from Hollywood, the makers of Hallmark greeting cards bring you Mr. James Hilton in Herr to Paoli's The Story of Silent Night on the Hallmark Playhouse. Each week, Hallmark brings you outstanding stories chosen by one of the world's best-known authors, Mr. James Hilton. Before
Before we begin, here is a Christmas message from the folks at Hallmark and the friendly stores where Hallmark cards are sold. A special Hallmark Christmas card from all of us to all of you that comes with real sincerity and brings our friendly greetings, too. So, to the wishes you've received, please add our wish for Christmas cheer. And by the way, it's sure been grand to have you with us through the year. And now it is Hallmark's pleasure to present the distinguished novelist, Mr. James Hilton.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is James Hilton. Tonight on our Hallmark Playhouse, we tell you the story of how that wonderful Christmas song, Silent Night, came to be written 130 years ago. This story was told recently to a writer named Herta Pauli by the grandson of the man who wrote the music of Silent Night. Christmas, the year of our Lord 1948. 1,948 years from the miracle of Bethlehem. Christmas, the birth date of the Prince of Peace. The birth date of hope and faith. The birth date of a miracle. In Bethlehem, 3 kings knelt and proffered gifts from the east. Since Bethlehem, many gifts, recorded and unrecorded, have been created of man's love of God and humbly offered in his honor. What you are to hear tonight will tell you of one such gift offered by 2 humble men 130 years ago this Christmas week. This, too, is the story of a miracle that was born one silent night. We are going back now through the arches of the years, back 130 Christmas Eves, to meet a man named Joseph Moore, Father Joseph Moore. Those voices you can just barely distinguish are all voices that have said Merry Christmas through the years. Their sentiment remains and lingers on the Christmas air like a blessing. And now we are in the Austrian Alps, in a small village. The year is 1818. In the center of the town, near a swift-flowing stream, stands a whitewashed church with a tall, red-topped steeple. There are the church bells. They have a special joyousness tonight, as all church bells seem to have on Christmas Eve. Come now, we'll meet Father Moore. He's in his study, and his heart's a little heavy, because the church organ has broken down and there'll be no music for the Christmas service.
Good evening, Father Moore.
Oh, good evening. Come in.
You don't know me, Father, but I'm in your parish. I've come from one of the charcoal makers' families. A child has been born to them tonight, and they beg that you come and bless the baby that it may live and prosper.
Have I time to go and return for my sermon?
Yes, Father.
Well, then I'll go at once.
And so it was that on Christmas Eve of the year 1818, Father Joseph Moore followed a woman up the rocky foothills of the Alps to a simple hut and blessed a baby on Christmas Eve.
Seems like a miracle that her child should be born this night.
Birth itself was a miracle. God has blessed her with a beautiful son on the most holy night of the year. And God has blessed me by guiding me here.
Father Moore walked down the snowy mountain, transfixed, transfigured. He thought of the baby and of the sacred night, and words began to stir and form themselves within him.
Holy night, silent night, holy night. All is calm, all is bright. Silent night, holy night. All is calm, all is bright.
Round yon virgin mother and child.
Silent night, holy night. All is calm, all is bright.
Round yon virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild.
Silent night, holy night. All is calm, all is bright.
How simple is the coming of a miracle to a stable in Bethlehem, to the heart of a man. After Father Moore had solemnized the Mass, he sat all night in his study, writing down the words that filled his heart. And when dawn came, he took the poem he had written to Franz Gruber.
Father, this is a fine poem.
I rather heard it as a song, Franz. I thought you might set it to music.
Thank you, Father. I should like to try.
And so the words that Father Moore had heard on Christmas Eve became music to Franz Gruber on Christmas Day. And before nightfall, he came to Father Moore's house.
I've written the music, Father. I wrote it for guitar and voice rather than the organ. After all, we have no way of knowing when the organ can be used.
Please, sing it. Let me hear it.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
In a neighboring Austrian province lies a valley, the Zillertal. And from the Zillertal, a few days after Christmas, came the organ builder, Karl Mauracher.
Well, now, Father Moore, Mr. Gruber, I think I have the organ in working order now. The mice had eaten holes in the bellows, but this leather patch should solve all your problems.
May I try?
Well, go ahead.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright.
I've never heard that song before, Father.
Franz and I wrote it at Christmas.
I've never heard a song like it. Would you teach it to me? I know people would like to learn it down in the Zillertal.
We'll be happy to teach it to you. Won't we, Franz?
We will be honored.
And so the hymn that was born on Christmas night started its journey out into the wide world. Karl Mauracher took the song down into the Zillertal. Silent Night was on its way from a small church high in the Alps to the cathedrals of the earth. All the children in the Zillertal loved to sing, and they all sang well. But of them all, the ones with the most beautiful voices were the four Strasser children, Caroline, Joseph, Andreas, and Amalie. And the organ builder worked painstakingly to teach them the song. On Christmas Eve, they stood in the doorway and sang it as a Christmas gift for their parents.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. From young virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Oh, what a wonderful Christmas gift.
You sang that beautifully. I'm proud of you.
The organ builder taught it to us.
Thank you, Mr. Maraca.
I hoped in the spring when Mr. Strasser takes the gloves to sell at the fair in Leipzig, perhaps he would find a way for you to sing the song there.
Sing at the fair.
We aren't good enough to do that.
We could never do it.
Why do you want him to sing the song there, Mr. Maraca? Well, to me, this song is almost like a song from heaven. The words came to Father Moore on Christmas Eve. The melody to the schoolmaster, Gruber, on Christmas Day. They gave it to their parish, and then it was given to me to carry down into the valley of the Zillertal. I, in turn, give it to you to take to Leipzig. Someone in Leipzig will take it on the next step of its journey.
Where is it going?
Who knows, little Amalie? Perhaps everywhere.
But who in Leipzig?
I don't know that either. But someone will make him or herself known to you, and the song from heaven will go on across the earth. Will you take it to Leipzig and send it on its way?
Oh, yes. Of course we will.
Who are you children?
They are my children, sir. I'm Strasser from the Zillertal. This is my glove stand. We're here at the fair to sell chamois gloves.
Your children have beautiful voices, Mr. Strasser.
Yes. They sing every afternoon, and the people stop to listen to them just as you saw today.
And do they also buy the gloves?
Yes, I think it helps business. In any case, it does not harm it.
It was their song that caught my attention.
The song, sir?
Yes, I have never heard it before. My name is Polenz. I am the Director General of Music in the Kingdom of Saxony.
The Director General of Music?
Yes, I wanted to ask you children if you would care to appear at a concert one of these days.
A concert?
Oh, that would be terrible.
I'm afraid they aren't experienced enough, Mr. Polenz.
We must do it. We promised Mr. Morocco we've got to do it. It doesn't matter if we aren't good, as long as we sing it. We'll be happy to sing at a concert, Mr. Pollens.
Well, we may not be happy, but we'll do it.
Good. Next Tuesday, then, at the Gewandhaus, there will be an orchestra concert. Perhaps at the close of the concert, you will honor us with this song. The King and Queen will be there.
The King and Queen. Your Majesty.
Your Highness, we are honored.
Honored.
Well, children, don't look at the floor. Look at us. We want to see your faces.
I think they have a slight case of fright, Your Majesty.
We don't want you to be afraid of us. We have children just about your age.
Mr. Poland has told us you sing a wonderful song that you call a song from heaven. We're looking forward to hearing it.
If we just didn't have to sing it before all those people.
Now, some of them are the same people you sang it for at the fair.
Your Majesty, it's almost time for the concert to start. With your permission.
Just close your eyes, children, and pretend you're singing at home.
Silent night, holy night, all is bright.
And the King and Queen smiled and listened, and listening with them was the director of the Berlin Cathedral Choir. It was he who heard the song in Leipzig and took it on the next step of its journey to Berlin and the court of the emperor.
In a moment, James Hilton will return to bring you the second act of The Story of Silent Night. You've been so busy buying gifts for others, now let me tell you about a Christmas present for you from the friendly store where you find Hallmark greeting cards. It's a Hallmark date book. I have one in my hand now, and what a little beauty it is, from the colorful camellia on the cover to the last pink and white page in the book. It's just the right size to tuck away in your purse or keep beside your telephone, and so useful you'll always be referring to it. Just inside the cover, there's a place for your name and a list of important dates, like Easter and Mother's Day. Turn the page, and there's a calendar for January 1949, with a space beside each date for jotting down things to remember, social engagements, appointments, anniversaries. There's also room for names and addresses of people you want to remember during January. And so for every month of the year, right through to December. You'll find it especially valuable right now because at the back of the book there's a place for your next year's Christmas card list, room for names and addresses, and an easy way to mark Christmas cards sent and cards received. You'll find so many uses for this handy Hallmark date book. Why not get your copy right away? It's yours without obligation, a Christmas gift to you from the friendly store where you find Hallmark greeting cards. Now back to James Hilton and the second act of The Story of Silent Night.
Voices are the men of the Berlin Cathedral Choir singing for the Emperor on Christmas Day. There's the Emperor in the royal pew singing with them. No, he stopped singing. Look at his face. He's glaring at that hymn book.
What do you mean you don't know who wrote that song? Are you my concertmaster or are you not my concertmaster?
Well, I am your concertmaster at the moment, sire.
Look at his hymn book. Just look at this page. What does it say?
Silent Night.
And what else does it say?
Author and composer unknown.
I want to know who wrote that hymn. Concertmaster, you've spoiled my whole Christmas. The trees, the gifts, even the dinner. If a thing is unknown, I wish it made known. I want order in my hymn book. I want it as soon as possible. You'll start out today in search of the name of the composer of Silent Night?
Yes, sire.
And so it was that Concertmaster Ludwig Erck started out to trace the origin of Silent Night. He went to big cities, he went to small villages. He talked to the young, to the old. Long, worrisome months kept pace beside him. And at last, even though he knew what he had to face in the anger of the king, he knew he had to give up. He sat, alone and disconsolate, in a small village inn near the Austrian border.
Will there be anything else, sir?
No, that'll be all. Oh, hush.
You don't like the bird's song, sir?
The bird? I thought it was my own mind. That's the song I've been hunting for. Who taught it to him?
I don't know, sir. A traveler sold him to us. The man said he had bought the bird in Salzburg in St. Peter's Abbey.
Salzburg? Well, then, I shall go to Salzburg.
To Salzburg, to St. Peter's Abbey, which had been built 1,000 years after the birth of Christ. Concertmaster Erck walked through a dark pillared archway into a vaulted room and stood where Father Joseph Moore had stood so many times in the years gone by.
Silent Night? No, I have no recollection of it. How did you happen to come to us, sir?
I heard a bullfinch sing the tune, Father. The innkeeper told me the bird came from this abbey.
No, we don't allow any of our students to train songbirds here. We consider it a cruel practice to deprive God's creatures of their freedom.
I see. Well, perhaps it was a mistake.
Come, it's late. Have some dinner with us and then spend the night.
What is this? Here come Ambrosius Pensteiner, the choir inspector here at the Abbey. And this is young Felix Gruber.
Oh, my ear. I'm going to tell my father on you.
I was told about your inquiries concerning the bullfinch. This young rascal trained him.
You trained him?
It didn't hurt the bird.
Where did you learn that song that you taught him?
The song?
You heard the gentleman, the song.
My father wrote it.
Your father?
Yes, sir.
Where is your father?
In the village of Helene.
Helene. Mr. Pensteiner, do you think you could arrange for this boy to have a day or two off so I could go with him to Helene?
Well, you'll have to talk to the abbot, but I'm sure it can be arranged.
And now young Felix Gruber and Concertmaster Erck are tucked in a fine sleigh behind a team of the Abbey's finest horses. The bells sing out gaily across the clean, crisp air, and the snow crunches under the horses' hooves. Now they are going through the pass above Helene, and now they're skimming down the main street to the market square before the church, and now they are pulling up before the small, friendly house which is the home of Franz Gruber. And so it was at last. Concertmaster Erck sat with the composer of Silent Night.
Mr. Gruber, I bring you and Father Moore the compliments of the king and the whole country.
Well. Father Moore is dead. God rest his soul, these 6 years past.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, he was a fine man. Do you have all 6 stanzas to the song?
I know we have only 4.
Felix, hand me the guitar, please.
Here, Father.
Silent night, holy night, calling forth all the might of our Father's love and grace, as Jesus holds in our brother's embrace. All the nations of man, all the nations of man.
And so the words and the facts are taken down, and above the music will be the names Gruber and Moore. Concertmaster Erck walks out to the snow after dinner, and as he walks, he looks up at the snow-covered Alps that Father Moore loved. And Franz Gruber watches him from the window and wishes regretfully that Father Joseph Moore had been here to see his song brought back in triumph to the village of Helene. So you have journeyed back 130 Christmas Eves to meet a man named Father Joseph Moore, and the schoolteacher, Franz Gruber, and Karl Mauracher, the organ builder, and the Strassers, and all the rest who had a part in carrying the song from a village high in the Alps down into the world. Yes, now it has bridged 130 Christmas Eves. Now it has been sung by the old and the young, the rich and the poor. It has been sung in every language, in every country of the world. It has become a prayer that men can live together in one world as brothers, and that there be indeed peace on earth, goodwill toward men. You have heard the story of a miracle that was born one silent night.
James Hilton returns to tell you about our story for next week, I'd like to tell you about Hallmark New Year's cards. They're as bright and gay as a New Year's party. They're a thoughtful expression of friendship, and they're the best way I know to remember someone you may have overlooked when you sent your Christmas cards. Remember, these are Hallmark cards. When friends receive them and glance at the back, as you did, they'll see the hallmark and know you cared enough to send the very best. Here again is James Hilton.
The story of Silent Night and the music you have just heard has all the beauty and joy and happiness of Christmas. There's nothing anyone can add to it. But I would like to introduce the man who's responsible for the splendid music you've just heard. I know you'd like to meet him, because so many of you have written us to praise his music. He's Lynn Murray, the musical director of the Hallmark Playhouse, whose work contributes so much to the success of our performances every week. Lynn, I personally want to thank you, not only on my own behalf, but for all our Hallmark people everywhere for helping to make our Playhouse musically outstanding.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. You know, I enjoy working with you and all the rest of the people here. It's very satisfying to be with people who are always working toward perfection. But I suppose that's quite natural when you realize that our sponsors are the people who make Hallmark cards. You know, Jimmy, writing music for a dramatic presentation has a parallel in the making of greeting cards. In our work, we try to compose the exact music to fit the story that is being told, to underline every mood, character, and change of scene. And Hallmark greeting cards always seem to express the fitting sentiment for every occasion. And by the way, I want to ask our audience to be sure to listen next week when we will dramatize your own book, Lost Horizon, with one of Hollywood's finest actors, Herbert Marshall. And the following week, it'll be our pleasure to present Louis Bromfield's MacLeod's Folly, starring Robert Young.
And now, for all of us here in the Playhouse, for our director-producer, Dee Engelbach, for Jean Holloway, who dramatized tonight's story, for the Hallmark dealers whom you see in your own cities, for everyone who is proudly a member of the Hallmark family, we wish you, our friends, a very, very Merry Christmas. Until next Thursday, then, this is James Hilton saying good night.
Look for Hallmark cards that are sold only in stores that have been carefully selected to give you expert and friendly service. Remember Hallmark cards when you care enough to send the very best. This is Frank Goss saying good night to you all until next week at the same time when James Hilton returns to present Herbert Marshall in Lost Horizon, and the following week MacLeod's Folly starring Robert Young. This program came to you from the Hallmark Playhouse. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
And now the Jell-O family presents...
Henry Aldrich. Coming, Mother.
Yes, it's the Aldrich Family, based on characters originated by Clifford Goldsmith and starring Ezra Stone as Henry with Jackie Kelk as Homer. And yes, it's the Jell-O family with its 3 famous desserts. Jell-O in those 6 delicious flavors, Jell-O puddings with that old-fashioned homemade flavor, and Jell-O tapioca puddings. A miracle of goodness, a marvel of speed.
For desserts that are delicious, boy, believe me, you should know. They are made by famous Jell-O.
And now for the Aldrich Family. Typical teenage boy like Henry Aldrich, every holiday is naturally a red-letter day. And whatever the celebration, Henry is always certain to be right in the center of it, adding a little color of his own. The scene opens at the Aldrich breakfast table. It's the week before Christmas.
Sam, I'm just as pleased as I can be.
Yes, what about?
Henry, he's been so helpful this past week. And, dear, do you know what I think?
What?
He's really growing up.
You know what I think?
What?
Christmas is just around the corner.
Sam Aldrich, you're just being cynical.
No, Alice, I'm just experienced. Any time now, he'll start in dropping hints.
What hints?
About what he'd like us to give him for Christmas.
Sam, if he does, it's just because he's trying to be helpful.
Father, are you in the dining room?
Yes, Henry.
Hiya, Father, old-timer.
There we go.
I thought you might like your pipe here.
Thank you, Henry.
Can I fill it for you?
No, thank you.
Or strike a match and light it?
No, thanks.
Gee whiz, isn't there anything I can do?
Would you care to smoke it for me?
Sam!
Henry, is there something special on your mind? Something you want to say?
Why, no, sir. I'm just passing the time of day.
I see.
Only, now that I think of it, can I mention that swell football game I saw?
When, dear?
Thanksgiving Day. Boy, it was some game.
It was?
Yeah. Too bad I didn't enjoy it.
You didn't? Why not?
I don't know. You take a football game and you sit way back in the stands, see? And if you're not equipped, where are you?
Where?
You're right. It sure makes you think, doesn't it?
Hey, Henry.
Oh, gee whiz. I'll be right with you, Homer. Excuse me.
Henry, wouldn't you like to be a little more explicit?
Sure, Father. The game I missed the best part of was the one we came closest to winning all season. Hi, Homer.
Listen, Henry, when are you going to casually show that advertisement to my father?
Why, I'll tell you.
Well, gee whiz, don't you want him to make me happy for Christmas?
Homer, I intend to show it to him. Just as soon as I find it.
You lost it?
Not permanently. I was eating some cookies the other night, see? And the next thing I knew, your ad had disappeared. Temporarily.
You mean you ate it?
Ate it? Now that I think of it, that last cookie was kind of chewy.
Henry, I'll never get that piccolo if you go around eating up my ass.
Besides, Homer, if you ask me, you ought to be more subtle about that piccolo.
Who's not subtle? I'm not subtle.
Look, for Christmas, I want those binoculars down into Havens, right?
Right.
So I just subtly drop a few hints and mention that I wasn't able to see the Thanksgiving football game from way back where I sat. And right away, they know it's binoculars I want.
They do?
Sure. Only they just try to worry me by pretending they don't understand.
Gee, Henry, you're right. You have to be subtle. You know what I'm going to do?
What?
Just a few days before Christmas, I'm going to give my father a box of good cigars.
Cigars?
Sure, and right inside I'll put a copy of that piccolo ad. How's that for being subtle?
Henry!
Yes, Mary?
Maybe one of you could help me.
With what, Mary?
Well, look, Homer. Suppose you were a man, see?
Mary, are you insulting me?
Of course not, Homer. I just said suppose you were.
Oh.
So, if you were this certain party, would you prefer a pen and pencil set or a 3-speed blanket?
You're buying me a blanket that travels at 3 speeds?
I should have known better than to ask you a simple question. Mother!
Wait a minute, Mary. Ask me again. Ask me again.
Mother, are you in the kitchen?
Mary, dear, I'll be right back.
Sam! But, Mother, I just want to ask you what I should buy Kermit for Christmas.
Sam, look what I just found in the cookie jar, an advertisement.
Someone's advertising in our cookie jar?
Here, don't you get it? Henry put it there for us to find.
Oh, let me see it. Are you never the life of the party? Buy one of our piccolos and stop playing second fiddle. $6.75 delivered. Alice, a piccolo?
Sam, that's what he wants for Christmas.
Engraved with bluebirds, $1 extra.
That would be lovely.
But, Alice, where does a football game enter into a piccolo?
Here, it's obvious.
It is?
Of course. Henry wants to play in the school band.
What?
Yes, dear, so he can sit right on the sidelines and get a perfect view.
Mr. DeHaven.
I'll be right with you, boys.
Look, Homer, there are my binoculars.
Where?
Right there in the store window, next to that sign that says, Make Mother Happy for Christmas with a personalized darning egg.
Now, what can I do for you, boys?
Mr. DeHaven, I'd like a box of your best cigars.
Yes, sir. We have an excellent brand here that comes all wrapped for Christmas.
Oh, that's swell. I'll take it.
Good. That'll be $11.50.
How much?
$11.50.
That 11 you're speaking of, is that dollars?
It is.
Gee whiz, all I have is $1.25.
Mr. DeHaven, could I please try these binoculars in the window?
Very well, Henry, but be careful.
Gee, thanks.
Mr. DeHaven, don't you have cigars without quite so much tobacco that come for about $1.25?
No, I'm afraid not. Why not get your father something else?
Not cigars?
We have some nice simulated plastic picture frames.
Picture frames?
Yes, you could slip your picture in one of them and give that to your father.
My picture?
And watch my piccolo go right out the window?
Well, then I'm afraid there's nothing I can do, Homer. Now, be careful with those binoculars, Henry.
Yes, Mr. DeHaven. All I'm doing is looking through them.
Boy, imagine, $11.50 for cigars. People sure do burn up money.
Boy, Homer, boy, are these binoculars neat.
Let me look through them, Henry. Let me look.
Okay, but take it easy, Homer.
Hey, you see Agnes Lawson down by the soda fountain?
Yeah?
You know how much her check is? Only 5 cents.
Gee, are those binoculars as powerful as that? Excuse me, Homer.
Who are you phoning?
My father, to drop another hint.
Number, please.
Elm 992.
Henry, while you're calling, I think I'll join Agnes.
What for?
I've owed her a treat for a long while, and boy, this looks like a good time to pick up her check.
Hello?
Hello, Father.
Henry, I've got to meet your mother. What is it?
Why, nothing in particular. I just happened to be down here in DeHaven's drugstore, and I saw...
Saw what?
Nothing, Father. But don't you think it's pretty interesting to be able to see a check from as far off as 20 feet?
See a what?
A check.
Henry, what are you driving at?
Driving at, Father? I? Oh, gee, I just called to pass the time of day.
Yes, but...
Well, now that I've passed it, so long, Father.
Henry, where's Homer?
Over there with Agnes and Mr. DeHaven. If things go right, my parents ought to be in for these binoculars sometime today.
Good. Did I mention there's no extra charge for the leather case?
They come in a case?
Oh, yes, with a strap that goes around your neck.
Boy, that's a fine thing.
Say, Homer, I found a sample box of 15 cigars that I can let you have for $1.25.
But, Mr. DeHaven, all I have now is $1.
What?
Agnes's check was 25 cents.
I thought it was only 5.
So did I. Only she was deliberately holding her thumb over the 2.
May I help you, sir?
Yes. Do you sell checkers at this counter?
Oh, we do indeed. Would you like to see them in wood, plastic, or reinforced cardboard?
Well...
Or if you want to go whole hog, we have a dandy set in hand-carved ivory.
Well, it really doesn't matter what the checkers are made of, just so that they're big enough to be seen from 20 feet off.
20 feet?
Yes.
Oh, wouldn't it be rather inconvenient to play from that distance?
Oh, it sounds ridiculous to me, too, but as near as I can figure out, that's what my son wants for Christmas.
Well, if you'll just wait a minute, I'll see if we have any large checkers in stock.
Thank you.
Father!
Oh.
Father, what are you doing down here at the Emporium?
I was supposed to meet your mother at the information counter 10 minutes ago.
Oh. Well, she still has time. By the way, Father, does a leather case with a strap that goes around your neck mean anything to you?
No, why?
I ran into Henry, and he said if I saw you to casually mention that what he wants for Christmas comes in one.
You don't say.
And, Father, I have a problem.
Yes?
Well, if you knew a certain party that was, well, close to you.
Close to you?
Yes. And suppose you wanted to get him something very special for Christmas to show him how you feel about him, what would you get?
Why, well, I really don't feel I should say.
Father, you must tell me.
Well, naturally, Mary, I'm sure whatever you get him, he'll be crazy about. But if I were that man, you know what I'd really like?
What?
Well, a new hunting rifle?
My goodness.
You're right, Mary. It's too expensive.
Oh, I'm not worried about the money.
No?
No, it's coming out of my special campaign fund.
Well, Mary, I hardly know what... Well, that is, I'm certainly... Mary.
Father, my goodness, you kissed me right in the middle of the Emporium.
I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, that's quite all right.
And could you please tell me which way to guns?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, I know, in sporting goods.
Now, don't you go spending too much, Mary. Nice girl, Mary.
Lovely. Friend?
Daughter. Say, isn't your jewelry department nearby?
2 aisles over, but...
As long as she's going as far as a hunting rifle, I wonder how she'd like a pearl necklace.
But, sir, about those checkers, I've measured all of them, and the largest is 1 1/4 inches in diameter.
Oh, well, I'll tell you. Does the set come in a leather case?
Why, no.
And it doesn't have a strap that goes around your neck?
No.
Well, thanks. The more I think of it, the more I'm sure we're on the wrong track with checkers.
Well, we have this chest set in leather case.
Chess?
And it's been reduced, and we could have a strap put on it.
No, I'm afraid not. If I don't like chess, why should Henry?
Sam!
Oh, there's my wife. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm late, but I've finished every last bit of our Christmas shopping.
No, you haven't, Alice. We still need a gift for Henry.
Henry? Didn't you send away for that piccolo?
Yes, but he wasn't heading for a piccolo.
He wasn't?
Not unless a piccolo has something to do with checks you can see 20 feet off and it goes around your neck.
What?
Incidentally, Alice, what do you think of pearls?
Pearls? Why, dear, they're very lovely.
They'd make a nice present for a young lady, wouldn't they?
Oh, my goodness, yes, but aren't they rather expensive?
Alice, in this case, nothing's too good.
Well, naturally, Sam, it's up to you. And, dear, while you're doing your shopping, there's something I ought to take care of, too.
Very well, dear, and try to think what it is Henry's been hinting at.
I will. Excuse me, madam, could you let me by, please? Young man.
Well, back again, madam.
Yes, these ties I bought a little while ago. I'd like to return them.
So soon?
Well...
Our ties don't usually start coming back until after New Year's.
Well, you see, I think I'm getting a pearl necklace for my husband. And I couldn't very well give him just ties in return.
I see. Very well. I'll make out a refund slip.
Thank you. Incidentally, you've had quite a bit of experience with gifts, haven't you?
I certainly have.
Well, what would you say it was that handy at football games, comes in loud checks, and goes around your neck?
Why, madam, that's obvious.
It is?
Yes, you'll find our mufflers right over there at the next counter.
Muffler? But that's incredible. Henry would never... Why, it's incredible.
But, madam, what else could it be?
Mary, you bought Kermit what for Christmas?
A gun, Mother, a gun.
Dear, do you really think you should be giving a man you might eventually marry a thing like that?
But Father thought that's just what Kermit would like. And, Mother, my problem is, what should I have engraved on it?
Engraved?
On the barrel. I was thinking of something like, to Kermit, peace on earth, goodwill toward men.
Dear, I wouldn't have it engraved until after Christmas.
Why not?
Well, suppose it's the wrong size and has to be returned. And, Mary, wait till you hear what I'm getting from your father.
Hey, Henry. Mrs. Aldrich, have you seen Henry?
Well, I believe he's up in his room, Homer. I'll call him.
Before you tell me what you're getting?
Mary, maybe you can help me out.
With what?
Have you ever had any experience rolling cigars?
Rolling what?
Cigars. I thought if I bought the raw materials and eliminated the middleman, I might get by for $1.
Homer, I've never rolled a cigar in my life.
Hi, Homer.
And I don't think it's a bit nice of you to infer that I have. My goodness.
Homer, Mary didn't mention anything about my family buying those binoculars, did she?
No.
Gee, I went through every hiding place in the house, and the only Christmas present I found was a muffler.
For you?
Gee whiz, no. My parents wouldn't palm a thing like that off on me. You should see it, Homer. Checks as big as that all over.
No kidding.
Boy, it looked like it was on fire.
Henry.
Yes, Homer?
I hate to mention this, but... Well, maybe your parents didn't get your hints straight and bought you something else instead of binoculars.
Henry, will you please answer the phone?
Yes, Mother. Homer, what else could they have thought I was heading for? Hello?
Hello, is this Aldrich?
Yes.
Elm 303?
That's right.
Well, this is the Emporium calling. Have you decided on what sort of engraving you want on that hunting rifle?
Hunting rifle?
Yes.
Hunting rifle?
That you bought this afternoon for the young man.
Are you sure you're calling Aldrich?
Yes.
Elm 303?
Yes.
And somebody here bought a hunting rifle?
Yes. Hello?
Oh, boy. Only maybe you shouldn't have told me that.
Oh, it's for you?
You better call back later and speak to either my mother or father. Goodbye. Homer, did you hear that? I'm getting a hunting rifle for Christmas.
Boy, and to think all I asked for was a piccolo.
Boy, Homer, that just goes to prove what a few subtle hints can do.
Wanted a pair of binoculars for Christmas, but the subtle hints he's been dropping have led his parents to buy him a muffler and a piccolo. Only now Henry believes they've bought him a hunting rifle, which is really Mary's present to her boyfriend. The scene opens in the Aldrich living room, and it's Christmas Eve.
A snow shovel? Mother, you're giving Father a snow shovel for Christmas?
Mary, let me finish. First, your father will give me my pearl necklace. Then I'll give him his snow shovel. And, Mary, you're going to see the longest face you've ever seen.
Well, I should think so.
And then I'll give him his real present, a lovely chess set in a leather case.
A chess set?
Yes, I saw him admiring it in the Emporium the other day.
Oh, Mother, you're so sweet.
Oh, and Mary, I feel so warm.
So do I. The house has been so different since Father insulated it.
I didn't mean that. I mean everything's so perfect.
Hello, Mother.
Hello, dear.
Hello, Mary.
Hello, Henry.
Would anybody like me to make them a glass of eggnog?
Eggnog, Henry?
Sure. That's just the thing I'm in the mood to make.
Well, thank you just the same, dear.
Hey, Henry.
Mary, please phone Mrs. Dixon and make sure she launders our good tablecloth in time for Christmas dinner.
Henry, I got that box of cigars from my father.
You did? For $1?
Sure, from Willie Marshall.
I didn't know Willie smoked cigars.
He doesn't. This is a box his uncle sent his father.
No kidding.
Sure. Mr. Marshall said the way he feels about his wife's family, he wouldn't smoke them with a 10-foot pole.
I'll get that.
I don't mind answering it, Mary.
I'm practically there. Hello?
Hello, Mary. This is Kermit.
Oh, hello, Kermit.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How have you been?
Fine, Kermit.
You had the sniffles when I left last night, and I've been worrying.
You have? Isn't that sweet?
How are they?
Who?
The sniffles.
Oh, fine.
I just finished my Christmas shopping.
You have? Kermit, I certainly hope you didn't get anything from me.
Well,
Oh, Kermit, you shouldn't have.
It's something you wear on your hand.
Really? Kermit, you're teasing.
No, I'm not, and they're made of pigskin.
Oh.
That's all it is I'm going to give you.
Oh. Well, I certainly hope you won't ask me to give you any hints about what I got you.
I won't.
You won't? Well, I'll give you a tiny hint. Just keep your eye on the bullseye.
On the bullseye?
And I'm not going to say another word.
Gee, that's a puzzler.
It is?
I can't think of what it could be, unless it's a gun.
A gun?
But I know you wouldn't be foolish enough to buy a thing like that.
What?
Not for a guy who served 4 years in the infantry.
Well, naturally I didn't. Why would I? Oh, my goodness.
Is anything wrong, Mary?
No, but I have to hang up.
Are your sniffles coming back?
Kermit, I haven't time to explain. Goodbye. Oh, my goodness.
What is, Mary? What's wrong?
Henry, out of my way. Don't you realize all the stores close at 7 tonight?
Are you looking for something in that closet, Mary?
My goodness, I hope it isn't too late.
Mary, what are you doing?
Henry, let go. I've got to return this right away.
Return it. Listen, Mary, put that down.
Henry, out of my way.
Mother! Mary, don't you move another step. Mother!
Henry, I warned you.
What's all the shouting about?
What's going on? Mother, Mary's going to return my Christmas present.
Mary, that muffler's for Henry.
Muffler?
I'm returning Kermit's gun.
Kermit's gun?
Kermit?
Now, please, let me go, Henry. I'll never be able to return it in time.
But...
Henry, you didn't think that gun was for you instead of Kermit, did you?
Why,
For Henry, Alice. For Henry. If that gun was for anyone, it was for
For whom?
Kermit. And excuse me,
Where are you going?
up to my room. And I hope Mary's very happy with her pearl.
Mary? The pearls are for... Oh, my goodness.
boy, that's a fine thing.
Henry, where are you going?
Out, Mother. Just out.
Dear, you haven't got your coat on.
Gee, who cares?
Well, at least take your new muffler.
Mother, I'd rather not even mention that muffler.
What are you doing on the curb?
Sitting, Homer. Gee whiz, what does it look like?
I've been looking for you for nearly 2 hours. Merry Christmas.
Sure. Merry Christmas.
I heard about the gun being for Kermit. Tough luck.
That's okay, Homer. That's okay. Maybe the better man won.
Henry, don't say that.
Why not? Why not face facts? Gee. And to think I've been looking forward to this Christmas since last Christmas.
I know how how you feel. I'm not getting my piccolo either.
No?
I'll be lucky to get anything.
Didn't you give your father those cigars?
Sure. He lit one. You know what happened?
What?
It blew up in his face.
It did?
And Willie won't even give me my money back. He says, is it his fault his uncle doesn't like his father?
What's that?
Bunch of kids singing carols on the library steps.
Boy, you'd think they'd know better than to disturb the peace.
I'll say.
Homer, are you humming?
Me? Oh, gee whiz, I was just checking to see if they're in tune.
Oh, are they?
No.
Hiya, fellas.
Who's that?
Gee whiz, it's that pest Johnny Dixon again.
Merry Christmas to you all. I just delivered your mother's tablecloth, Henry. Aren't we lucky?
Lucky?
Sure. Look. Snow on Christmas Eve. Isn't it neat?
What's so neat about snow? All it does is get under your collar.
And would you mind leaving us alone?
Well, sure, fellas. And I hope your mother's cold gets better, Henry.
Cold? She's got a cold?
Well, that's the way she looked to me. Say, did I show you the swell present I got from my mother? Look, a real aviator's helmet.
Yeah.
Fur-lined.
That's swell.
With real fur. Well, I better get home and help her trim the tree. Merry Christmas to you all.
Gee.
Yeah, gee.
Imagine getting all excited about a hat. Henry.
What?
I'm going home.
Homer, you're going to leave me alone on Christmas Eve?
I'm sorry, Henry. That's where I'd rather be.
Gee whiz.
Good night. And Henry.
Yeah?
Merry Christmas.
Henry Aldrich.
Gee whiz, Mother, what are you doing out in the street?
Here's your coat.
Gee, thanks, Mother.
Don't think I'm forgiving you, Henry. But if you get sick, I'm the one who'll have to suffer for it. Now put it on.
Yes, Mother, and look.
Henry, is that you?
Sam!
Alice, what are you doing out here?
Sam, I know we agreed not to speak to Henry, but...
Father, what's that under your arm?
Why,
Gee whiz, it's my lumber jacket.
Henry, I'm still the one who has to pay the doctor's bill.
Gee, thanks.
Well, Alice, shall we go home?
You're going? Before I wish a Merry Christmas to you all?
What? Merry Christmas, Henry.
Yes. Merry Christmas, son.
Gee, listen to what they're singing. Love and joy come to you, and to you your also too, and God bless you. Oh, Father, could I apologize for thinking that gun was for me?
Well, that's all right, son. We all make mistakes.
Sam, I'm so happy.
Henry, I'm just curious. What was it you were heading for all week?
Gee, Father, it was silly. Forget it.
I'm curious.
Well, a pair of binoculars I saw in DeHaven.
Binoculars?
But, gee, they don't compare to a muffler.
Yes.
Well, shall we all go home now and trim the tree?
Why, I'll tell you, Alice, suppose you go home and start without me. I just remembered I ran out of cigars.
Don't buy them from Willie, Father. They blow up in your face.
Well, dear, shall we start for home?
Why, before we do, could I go into the store here and put in one phone call?
To whom?
DeHaven's drugstore, and tell Mr. DeHaven not to sell my binoculars before Father gets there.
Now, Merry Christmas to all of your families from the Jell-O family. Jell-O puddings, and Jell-O tapioca puddings. Now, for all you youngsters listening in, here's a little Christmas poem. If you ever get the feeling that you'd like to squeeze the cat, or tie a tin can to the dog, or sit on Father's hat, or pull the lamp from off the desk, or overturn the ink, better stop before you do. Better stop and think. Because you know what's coming, and it's not so far away. Just 2 days from now, it'll be Christmas Day. You can squeeze the cat in April. You can tease the dog in June. In August, you can dig the yard with Mother's silver spoon. Father's hat will squash in March, and next month there'll still be ink. Better wait a little while. Better wait and think. Because you know what's coming, and it's not so far away. Just 2 days from now, it'll be Christmas Day.
And here's wishing all of you, from all of us, a very Merry Christmas. Good night, folks.
The Aldrich Family Family, starring Ezra Stone as Henry and Jackie Kelk as Homer, is written by Norman Tokar and Ed Jurist, with music by Jack Miller. Mr. and Mrs. Aldrich are House Jamison and Catherine Ross. And this is Hugh James in New York saying the Aldrich Family is brought to you by the Jell-O Family.
For desserts that are delicious, boy, believe me, you should know. They are made by famous Jell-O.
Listen again next Thursday, same time, same station, for another sparkling half hour with the Aldrich Family.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Sealtest Milk and Ice Cream presents Sealtest Variety Theater. Yes, it's Sealtest Variety Theater with Henry Russell and his orchestra, the Crew Chiefs Quartet, and those two wonderful people from stage, screen, and radio, Victor Moore and Pat O'Brien. And here she is, our gal Thursday, the singing star of Variety Theater, Dorothy Lamour.
Thank you, and hello, everyone. I couldn't think of two friends who could give more of a Christmas glow to the proceedings than those two Yuletide boys, those jolly gentlemen, Pat O'Brien and Victor Moore.
Hiya, Dottie. Merry Christmas to you.
Well, thanks, Pat.
Yes, Daddy, for me too. Merry Christmas.
Well, what's the matter, Victor? You sound a little weak. The holiday beginning to get you?
Well, Pat and I were just downtown shopping. It's a funny thing. We met while we were looking for presents for each other. I was going to get him a tie.
I was going to get him a tie, too.
Well, what did you do?
Well, the stores were so crowded, we stopped and tied one on. I mean, you've never seen so many people.
Gee, I'll never forget the Christmas I worked at Marshall Field.
Oh, you ran the elevator there, didn't you, Dottie?
Please, I didn't run the elevator. I was the engineer in charge of vertical transportation.
Oh, I get it. You know, Dottie, here you are, a glamorous radio and movie star who's just won the Hollywood Women's Press Club Golden Apple Award for being the most cooperative actress of the year. And just a few short years ago, you were working as an elevator operator. Wonder if you ever think about the old days much.
Pat, I have a confession to make. Being an elevator operator is a very good way of making sure success doesn't go to your head.
What do you mean, Dottie?
Well, a lot of folks in Hollywood have found out that it's much quicker going down than it is going up.
Thank you, Dottie, Victor Moore, and Pat O'Brien. And please gather around the Sealtest Christmas tree for just a moment while we tell you about a special treat.
Get the best, get Sealtest.
Tell me, Dottie, what do you think is the spirit of Christmas?
Oh, it's a lot of things, Carlton. The twinkle of a star, the tinkle of a bell, a heartwarming welcome.
And that adds up to a bowl of smooth, golden Sealtest eggnog. Because this famous eggnog is a shining star in its own right. It's as merry-making as tinkling bells, and the heart-warmingest welcome I know. Made in the famous Sealtest tradition, it has the rich, mellow flavor of real, old-fashioned eggnog. When friends stop in, give them a welcome brimming with the spirit of Christmas. Delicious Sealtest eggnog.
Get the best, get Sealtest.
And now Santa Claus has come down the chimney just 2 days early and has handed out a very special musical arrangement to Henry Russell and the orchestra. And because our own Dottie has been such a good little girl all year, she gets to sing Jingle Bells.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleigh bell song tonight.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. No actor who has ever been on the stage or screen has depicted as warm and as human a character as our first guest star tonight. His portrayal of the downtrodden male has earned him a warm place in the hearts of us all. And I can think of no one I'd rather introduce on this Christmas program than my good friend, Victor Moore.
Well, thank you, Dottie. And may I say something which I hope you won't take any offense at?
Why, certainly, Victor. What is it?
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Victor, you're wonderful. And I hope the folks are going to like the little comedy sketch we've dreamed up, especially for Christmas. Carlton, will you do the customary honors?
Right, Dottie. It's Christmas Eve in a modest little apartment. An apartment shared by two girls who work in one of New York's biggest department stores. Peggy Taylor is relaxing in the living room as the door opens and her roommate, Dorothy, comes in.
Well, how do you feel, Dottie?
Oh, brother, am I glad this is over.
Me too. This is the worst year we've ever had. Or should I say the best.
Kids. I've never seen so many of them. There must have been 1 million kids in the store today.
Yeah, I guess it's the same every year.
Yeah, but I keep hoping some year maybe we'll only get 500,000 kids.
What are you kicking about? You don't even work in the toy department.
Children's clothes aren't any cinch. Putting things on the little darlings, taking them off, putting them on, taking them off.
Well, it's all over now.
Who in the dickens is... Are you expecting anybody?
No, I'm not.
Well, might as well answer it.
Excuse me, but could I use your telephone for a minute?
Telephone? Why, I guess so.
I saw the light on in your apartment. That's why I rang the bell.
Okay, Santa Claus, come in.
Oh, you knew I was Santa, huh?
Well, your red suit and your white beard and your boots, I sort of put two and two together and figured it out.
Well, I'll only be a moment. I had a slight accident. I have to call the North Pole.
The North Pole?
Well, don't worry. I'll reverse the charges.
Now, that's nice.
Hello? Operator? Can I have long distance, please? Yeah, I'd like to make a long distance call, reverse charges. The number is Igloo 022002. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle. Oh, hello, Mom. Yeah, it's Chris. How's the weather up there, Mom? Cold? Cold down here, too. Good Christmas weather, though. The reason I called, Mom, I need another reindeer. We lost Blitzen. Yep, when we were flying over the Griffith Park Zoo, they made him a capital gains offer. Shoot down one of the spares, will you, Mom? I have to take care of Brooklyn. Oh, by the way, girls, what's the address here?
164 East 62nd Street.
Yeah. Send him down to 164 East 62nd Street, New York City. I'll meet him about 500 feet over the roof. Okay, see you tomorrow. Merry Christmas. Good night, Mom. Do you mind if I sit here for a few minutes until Mom sends the reindeer down?
You mean it's going to take a few minutes?
Why, sure. We're about 5,000 miles from the North Pole.
Oh, I see. So you're really Santa Claus.
Yep.
You know, I've always wanted to meet you.
Well, thank you. It's awfully nice of you to say that.
Yes, there's always been one question I wanted to ask you.
What's that?
Who do you believe in?
That's a good one. But you know, there is an answer to it.
Is there?
Yes, I believe in little boys and little girls. I believe in all their little dreams. When they get older, I keep believing in their dreams, and that's why some of them come true.
Yes, I'm sure that's right. Have you been doing this sort of thing very long?
Well, about 500 or 600 years. I sort of lost track. You know how time flies.
Well, look, mister, this is lots of fun, but let's play this game some other night.
Game?
Sure, the Santa Claus game.
Oh, you don't believe I'm really Santa Claus?
No, I don't believe it. You see, I'm a big girl now, and I don't believe in Santa Claus, the fairy princess, or the pot at the end of the rainbow.
Well, that's too bad. You must miss an awful lot of fun. You know, that's one of the troubles, I suppose, people not believing in Santa Claus.
One of what troubles?
Oh, the trouble with the way the world is. You see, it all started falling apart when people like you stopped believing.
Look, Chris, I haven't got any fight with you. You sound like your heart's in the right place, but no kidding. I'm awfully tired.
Now, gee, if you could only see the expression on those kids' faces when they see this stuff in the morning. All over the world, it's the same expression, and it's wonderful to see.
Look, mister, you're a nice guy. I like you, and I think you actually believe what you're selling.
Of course I do. And if I could only get you to believe.
Oh, sure. I'll believe. I'll write a letter to Santa Claus.
Why write it? Why not just tell it to me? What would you like for Christmas?
What would I like for Christmas? I'd like to go to Honolulu. I'd like a mink coat. I'd like a new automobile. I'd like a house. I'd like $5,000. I'd like...
Do you want them very, very badly?
I want them so badly that... Oh, what's the use? You almost got me playing this game, too, Pop. No kidding. Don't you think your reindeer's here yet? It's been about 3 minutes since you ordered him.
Say, you're right. I think it is here. I wonder who Mom sent down. Probably Blitzen's brother. Well, thanks so much for the use of your phone, and good night.
Good night, Santa. Well, how'd you like that, Peggy? Wasn't he a honey?
Yeah, he was a cute little guy, wasn't he?
He looked like something out of a Keystone comedy. Wish I had my Keystone camera.
I wonder what his trouble was. I wonder how he got started.
Oh, he probably saw Miracle on 34th Street too many times. Meeting a reindeer 500 feet above the house. Wow.
Yeah, the cutest pink cheeks, though.
Yeah, just like Santa. Hello? Yes, this is Dorothy Arnold. Yes? What? Look, I can't take a ribbing like this twice in one night. What's that? The letter I sent in, that radio contest won the giant jackpot prize. What do I get? A trip to Honolulu, a mink coat, a 2-story house, and $5,000 in cash. You're not kidding. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Dottie, you mean you actually?
I guess I actually did.
Dottie, where are you going? Don't open that window. It's freezing. It's starting to snow.
I just want to see something. I just want to make sure. He was right. There he is, reindeer and everything. There really is a Santa Claus.
Merry Christmas, Dorothy! Merry Christmas!
There are certain songs that have become associated with the Christmas holiday season. certain songs that create a gay mood, a light mood, and a good kind of feeling mood. We can think of no one who can capture this mood better than the Crew Chiefs and Henry Russell's orchestra. Bundled up in their mittens and snowshoes, they usher in the Yuletide season with Winter Wonderland.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Run away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman, then pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man. But you can do the job when you're in town. Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland.
California by the blue Pacific, the land of
Crosby,
Lamar,
and Bob Hope. You should have seen colossal and terrific. They manufacture snow by using soap. But if you still remember old Jack Frost in December, just back on your dust, top bottle plane, head for Vermont, New Hampshire, or Maine. I'm with you in spirit, 'cause here I'm staying in my California winter wonderland. Get the best at Sealtest.
Here's the way to have a delicious white Christmas. Whip up snowy mounds of Sealtest whipping cream. Then pile it high on pudding, pie, or fresh fruit. Float it on coffee or cocoa. And snow cap a bowl of Sealtest eggnog with banks of this luscious, lip-smacking whipped cream. Sealtest cream whips like a dream. It's extra smooth and rich, with a sweet, farm-fresh flavor that makes your best desserts taste even better. You'll want lots of top-quality Sealtest whipping cream for the holiday look or festive flavor. Order it from your neighborhood Sealtest dealer. And always,
get the best, get Sealtest.
Dottie, inasmuch as you and I are going to do a lot of kidding in the next few minutes, could I say something serious about your next number?
Why, certainly, Pat. It would be a pleasure.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, a few years ago, Irving Berlin wrote a song which was sung by American boys all over the world. Boys that were hoping and praying that they'd be back home for Christmas. Let's all pray that never again will any of them have to sing or do their dreaming on some foreign shore. Let's hope that we'll be celebrating this and many more white Christmases at home.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
Time to meet again one of Hollywood's favorite sons, a man who is currently starring in the RKO Technicolor production, The Boy with the Green Hair, and whose thrilling portrayals of such characters as Fighting Father Dunn and Newt Rockney have brought to the screen believable portraits of what real, honest-to-goodness Americans are like. Pat, the top of the evening to you.
Thank you, and the rest of the night to yourself.
Well, Pat, my boy, why don't we let our broth of an announcer tell us about our sketch that's coming up?
It's all right by myself. But bear in mind, now, any resemblance between the football coach I'm about to play and any other football coach is purely coincidental and offside.
Okay, Pat. Carlton, while I put on my Lily Daché helmet, set the scene.
Okay, Coach. The time is late Saturday afternoon, and Aurora U has just defeated Pottsville City College 7-6 in the last regular game of the season. The victorious Aurora team is just trooping into the dressing room under the stands. The last to enter is Coach Pat Stonewall, his friendly face beaming as he gently closes the door.
Shut up! What a team.
Gee, Coach, we won, didn't we?
We won, didn't we?
Call that winning? Pottsville scored the first touchdown since 1935.
Well, we're still undefeated. We get into the Super Bowl game now.
Yeah, and what Cucamonga team will do to you guys in the Super Bowl shouldn't happen to Alphabet Noodles.
Oh, my boys, my great team.
What happened to you? What happened to my All-Americans?
Yeah, what happened? I fell asleep on the bench.
Shut up, Schmidt. You left here to go out for the second half. I found this in the dressing room.
A black lace handkerchief.
Gee, what nice perfume. Wave it a little bit more.
Who owns this thing?
A girl gave it to me. For luck.
For luck. Well, you're lucky you weren't murdered out there this afternoon. You guys were all missing from quarters last night. Where were you?
Oh, we were invited to a girl's house for dinner.
The whole team?
Yeah. She likes football players.
Who is this dame? Who is this Mata Harry who's turning you into a crapleg for the Super Bowl?
Her name is Nanette.
Yeah, she made us sauerkraut and pig's knuckles.
Sauerkraut and pig's knuckles the night before a game, so that's it. You had indigestion out there today.
Yeah. Wasn't Zach great? When he went across in that touchdown play, carried the ball, 3 tacklers, and 9 pig's knuckles.
I'll teach you to break training. Schmidt?
Yes, sir.
Who is this Nanette dame?
Oh, she's the dame who cooked the 10 pig's knuckles.
Okay. Get dressed and lead me to her.
Well, this is the place, Coach.
Ring that bell.
Well, hello, Schmitzy Witsy.
Schmitzy Witsy?
Yeah, it's sort of a nickname.
Gee, I'm glad you came. I have something for you.
Yeah, you sure have.
Nanette, this is Coach Stonewall.
Well, how nice. I baked a cake for the boys.
I'm not raising a team of cake eaters. I want to talk to you. Beat it, Schmidt.
Yes, sir.
Well, do you mind if we talk in the kitchen? I'm preparing dinner.
Just suicide, or are you expecting company?
Well, I do have enough for 2.
Now, you're not beating Schmidt or any of my boys after what happened this afternoon. I never saw anything like it. 11 guys. Sitting there on the grass, sending a water boy for bicarbonate of soda. Hey, what's that I smell?
Broiled sirloin, potatoes, asparagus, and biscuit.
Yeah, it smells good.
It's too bad you can't stay.
Well, it ain't like it was pig's knuckles.
Well, sit down, Coach.
Well, I can't see any harm. All right, fellas. All right. I called here to tell you that, well, for every man there comes a time when he gets tired of doing his own cooking.
Holy smokes, the coach wants us to cook for him.
Shut up, Schmidt.
Yes, sir.
Old fellow. What I'm trying to say is that... Oh, for crying out loud. Man, come in here a minute, will you?
Hey,
Wow,
Nanette's here.
That coach has flipped his wig.
What is it, honey?
Honey?
Fellas, Nanette and I got married last night.
Married? What's the matter
Boy,
with you?
she even cooked the coach.
I've always been like a father to you, and I want you to look upon Nanette as your mother.
Holy smokes.
Shut up, Schmidt!
Yes, sir.
Give them the gifts, honey.
Nanette has a good luck charm for each of you. Nice black lace handkerchiefs.
Who are we playing in that Soup Bowl game, Vassar?
Don't worry. It's Cucamonga, all right, but you'll beat them.
Tough team, Coach.
Yeah, but they're all coming here for dinner the night before the game.
You mean the secret weapon, Coach?
That's right, boys. Pig's knuckles and sauerkraut.
Coach, that was an all-American performance, and thanks a lot for letting me be on the team. We'll be listening to you on your own new show, Pat O'Brien from Inside Hollywood. And now, in just a few seconds, we'll give you some great news about our guest for next week.
Get the best at Sealtest. Christmas comes just once a year, but Sealtest always brings good cheer, so celebrate with Sealtest. Serve red raspberry tarts to climax your Christmas dinner. This Sealtest dessert of the month even looks the part, with a Yuletide topping of green whipped cream on red ripe raspberries. The base is Sealtest vanilla ice cream, smooth and creamy, ice cream eating at its finest. That goes for chocolate chip ice cream, too, the Sealtest flavor of the month. Famous Sealtest vanilla ice cream, jam-packed with chips of luscious, bittersweet chocolate. Special as can be, and just the ticket to reward the treat trimmers tomorrow night. For happy holiday treats, get chocolate chip ice cream and red raspberry tarts from your Sealtest dealer. And whenever you crave ice cream, always
get the best at Sealtest.
And here again is your mistress of ceremonies, Dorothy Lamour.
Victor Moore and Pat O'Brien, thanks for filling up our Christmas stocking with such wonderful fun. And another important thank you is heading in your direction because your appearance here tonight contributes to a fine cause, the establishment of the American Federation of Radio Artists Welfare Insurance Fund. Next Thursday, our guest will be that lovable actor, Lionel Barrymore, and that outstanding young comedian, Gary Moore. And now, Carlton, I believe you have something to say regarding that old slogan, the best is yet to come.
You're right, Dottie. 130 million people are grateful for what we have this Christmas, just because we live in America. But the best is yet to come. As abundant as our country is, we can have more of everything if we continue to realize that each American's personal standard of living will rise in proportion to how much all Americans produce, through better machines, better methods, and better teamwork.
Thank you, Carlton. And now until next week, this is Dorothy Lamour saying keep well, keep happy, and to the Hollywood Women's Press Club, a very big thank you. To everybody, may this be the best and the happiest of all Christmases.
Tonight's Sealtest Variety Theater was written by Howard Harris and Joel Murcott. Direction is by Glenn Hall Taylor. Tune in next Thursday at this same time when Sealtest Milk and Ice Cream again presents Sealtest Variety Theater starring Dorothy Lamour. And as our guests, Gary Moore and Lionel Barrymore. Sealtest Incorporated and Associate Companies are divisions of National Dairy Products Corporation. This is Carlton Cadell speaking.
NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Hey, Abbott, what time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure. Chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
Stop that yelling, Costello. Come over here. I need $10,000 in a hurry. Will you loan it to me? Ha ha! Haven't got that much, eh? Well, how about 8,000? Ha 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 ha! How about 5,000? 1,000? Costello, when are you going to stop that laughing?
When you get down to about $3.25.
I should have known better. If you stopped chasing girls, you'd have money.
I don't chase women, Abbott. I'm repulsive to women.
Repulsive to women? Who told you that?
Women.
What? Haven't you ever had a real girl, Lou?
Oh, yes, I have. Once, Abbott. Her name was Mabel Kumquat. Dear old Mabel Kumquat. Sweet kid.
I'll bet.
Met her at a delicatessen factory in Patterson. I was a salami sniper.
A salami sniper?
Snipper.
All right, so what is...
Well, a salami snipper? That's an endless chain of salami would go by me. Every 20 inches, I would go snip, snip.
Go on.
One day I looked up and there stood Mabel. I stood there looking at her for 15 minutes.
And what happened?
Abbott, did you ever see a salami 2 miles long?
And that was the start of your romance, eh?
Oh, yes. One night I took her up to Bung Mountain.
Wait a minute. There's no Bung Mountain in Patterson.
Abbott, when I take a girl up a mountain to a mountain, it's Bung. Then we became engaged. I slipped the ring on her finger. I didn't have a ring, so I used a cigar band.
Where did you get the cigar band?
Mabel happened to be smoking a White Owl at the time. I know it was a White Owl. I could smell the feathers.
Costello, you could graduate with honors from an idiot's college.
Thank you, Professor.
Hey, wait a minute, boys. Here's a serious-looking fella trying to get a word in edgewise. Let's see what he has to say.
Costello, stop that yelling. Where have you been?
I've been hiding my Christmas present.
Have you finished with your Christmas shopping, Lou?
No. On the way down here, I stopped at Nancy's department store, and boy, was that place crowded.
Lots of people, eh?
Ah, but it was so crowded. While I was in there, my belt broke, and it was 20 minutes before my pants fell down. Another thing, I can't stand those women shoppers.
What's wrong with women shoppers?
Well, I was standing by the notion counter. There was one woman there. She was turning everything bottom side up to see where it was made.
She was turning everything bottom side up?
Everything bottom side up. The floor worker saved me just in time.
Never mind that.
What did I get for $1.94?
Look, Lou, skip that. Did you write your letter to Santa Claus yet?
Did I write my letter to Santa Claus?
Yes.
I ain't gonna tell you.
Oh, come on. Did you or did you not write a letter to Santa Claus?
Well, if you must know, I did. And I asked him to bring me a new bicycle.
But Santa Claus brought you a new bicycle, a brand new bicycle, 2 years ago.
Yes, but don't you think I'm old enough now to have a boy's bicycle? Hello. I hate to interrupt your program, but I've got some bad news for you.
Out with it, man. What is it?
Mr. Costello, your Uncle Tom was just run over by a truck on Wilshire Boulevard. My Uncle Tom was run over by a truck on Wilshire Boulevard? Thanks for telling me. Abbott.
What?
You got a pencil?
What do you want with a pencil?
I want to cross Uncle Tom off my Christmas list.
How can you say that, Costello? How can you be so heartless? Isn't there any love in your family around Christmas time?
Oh, sure. Our family all love each other. Last Christmas, my Aunt May gave my Uncle Mike a broken arm for Christmas.
A broken arm?
Yep.
What kind of a Christmas present is that?
Well, after she broke it, she wrapped it up as a gift.
I'll bet your house is a pleasant place around Christmas.
Oh, you should have been there last year. Aunt Alma called Uncle Jim a no good, and Aunt May hit her over the head with a vase. Then my uncle hit my brother Pat over the head with a cane-bottom chair, and then Uncle Tom hit my cousin Vincent with the umbrella stand, and my sister Marie fired 3 shots at my sister-in-law.
What happened?
Well, before you knew it, an argument started. Well, I want to tell you something, Abbott, and speaking of arguments, what are you going to get your wife for Christmas?
Well, I gave her some money. She wanted to buy herself a new corset.
Lovely.
Yes, but she can't seem to find one that will fill her budget.
She's so fat, nothing would fit her budget.
Costello, my wife is just pleasantly plump. She's not fat.
That reminds me, Abbott. My sister would like to borrow one of your wife's stockings to hang over the fireplace on Christmas Eve.
What does she want with one of my wife's stockings?
She's expecting a grand piano.
Are you trying to insinuate that my wife Betty is fat?
Well...
Did you ever see her in a bathing suit?
Yes, I have.
Repulsive, isn't it? Wait a minute. Who put that in this script?
I told you, Abbott, you should have bought those Ryder's presents.
Did you buy the presents?
No, but I asked them what they wanted, and they said to me, Louie, you know what we like best. You just go out and get it, wrap it up, and put it on their Christmas tree.
Well, why did you do it?
Abbott, you can't wrap up a saloon.
Well, if you didn't get the Ryders anything, you should have at least bought their wives something.
I did, Abbott. I gave each one of them a corsage.
No, not corsage.
Not corsage.
That's corsage. Spelled A-G-E is pronounced like odd, as in corsage or garage. Now, where did you get them?
From the man who picks up the garbage. Well, I gotta go now, Abbott. I gotta do some shopping for Louis B. Mayer. He wants me to get a box of cigars. He's gonna give them to Margaret O'Brien for Christmas.
Now, wait a minute. Why would you want to give Margaret O'Brien a box of cigars for Christmas?
He wants to stunt her growth.
All right, Costello, that did it. Now I'm going to tell you what I think of you. You're the lousiest comedian on the radio. You tell the worst jokes on the air, and furthermore...
It's my brother-in-law.
I wouldn't come to see your show again if you gave me $1 million. You stink!
Sounded good, Lou.
This guy means it. Tough guy, huh? You want to step outside and say that?
Certainly I'll step outside and say it. Why?
Well, there's a lot of people out there in front that couldn't get in the studio. Maybe they'd like to hear it, too.
That's what I thought. You're a yellow rat.
A yellow rat, that did it. I'm not taking that sitting down.
Oh, you're not, eh?
No. He got me, Abbott.
Where'd you get you, Costello?
As I said before, I'm not taking this sitting down.
Hello, boys.
Hey, look, Costello, it's our secretary, Viola Vaughn.
Why, Costello, I didn't expect to see you here tonight. I thought you'd be up at the North Pole looking for Santa Claus.
Nah, it's too cold up there. My Uncle Jim moved up there to the North Pole. Last I heard of him, he was keeping company with a girl polar bear, and he was going to get married.
To a girl polar bear? What stopped them?
Her parents objected.
If I remember right, your Uncle Jim took your cousin Vincent to Alaska with him, didn't he?
Yes, and one day Vincent was fishing for whales. He hooked one and started to pull in his line. Then the whale pulled, then Vincent pulled, then the whale pulled.
Where is Vincent now?
I don't know. But every time I get a postcard from him, he sends regards from Jonah.
Viola, you look so pretty. Why don't you and I step out together after the show? I'm in a gay mood tonight. I'm feeling my oats.
Yes, Abbott. Have you been out to lunch with Trigger again?
There's no reason why Viola shouldn't go out with me. I'm a regular ladies' man. Why, women throw themselves at my feet.
I don't blame him. Anything to get away from that face.
Costello, it's my turn to go out with Viola. Why, you've been over to her house 5 nights running.
Oh, no, Mr. Abbott. Only 4 nights running. Last night my father didn't chase him.
Look, there's no use in you boys fighting over me. I want to find a big, strong, robust, romantic man.
How about me?
Okay, you can help me look.
Costello, I don't blame Viola for not wanting to go out with you. You're fat, you're ugly, your front tooth is missing.
Oh, no, it's not. I got it right here in my pocket.
Costello, honey, what are you going to get me for Christmas? You know, I need a new car.
A new car?
Well, Costello, as soon as a new car prices come down a little, maybe you can get her a new car.
I don't think so, Abbott. I went to a dealer yesterday, and I said, how long will it be before I can get a new car for $900? He felt my pulse and says, you'll never make it.
Oh, forget about Viola. We've got a lot of people on this show, and we've got to get them Christmas presents. Come on. Let's go across the street to the department store. Gee, this store is crowded. Look over there. It's our band leader, Matty Malnick.
Hiya, fellas. I'm looking to buy some records. Costello, do you know where the music department is?
No, I don't.
Well, you take down this aisle to the escalator, then you take the escalator to the next floor, then you go towards the front of the store.
Wait a minute. You asked me.
I asked you what?
How to get to the music department.
Well, you go down this aisle to the escalator, then you're right in.
Come on, now, get out of here. Matty Malnick.
Now, look, Costello.
Some musician. He just don't give a toot.
Look, Costello. Costello, there's Santa Claus in the toy department.
Hey, come on over there. I want to talk to him.
Are you Santa Claus?
Yes, I'm Santa Claus. Yes, little man. Oh! What's the idea of kicking me in the leg?
That's for last year.
Costello, that's no way to act. Santa Claus is here to find out what you want for Christmas. Now, go ahead and tell him what you want for Christmas.
Gee, Santa Claus, I wish that Christmas morning I could find Rita Hayworth in my stocking.
With those fat legs of yours, you'd have plenty of room for the Andrews sisters.
Say, Santa Claus, that was pretty good.
Oh, it's nothing. I tell those jokes all the time up at the North Pole.
Who's your straight man?
A penguin.
You want to trade?
No, I don't want to trade. I'm too fond of this penguin. I keep him in a bottle of ink.
Oh, a fountain penguin.
Santa Claus. Costello's just a kid at heart. He craves affection. The thing for you to do is mother him.
Oh, well, that's different.
Sure.
Here. Come on, get up on my knee, fat boy. Now, put your head under my beard. Now I've got you.
Santa Claus, what are you doing? I told you to mother him.
Oh, I thought you said smother him.
Break it up, men, but it's time to change the subject for just about 60 seconds.
Our musical Christmas gift to all of you, Hal Winters in a Christmas Song, along with Matty Malnick and his music.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you'll really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Summer Song by Hal Winters. Hey, Everett.
Hi.
My brother Pat just told me some wonderful news. Tomorrow he starts playing with the girls in Phil Spitali's orchestra.
What instrument will he play?
No instrument. He's just going to play with the girls.
I thought your brother was a musician.
No, he's a singer. He sings just like Nelson Eddy.
Does he sing Shortening Bread?
Well, he could, but the places he sings in are so small and narrow, he can't sing Shortening Bread. He's got to sing right crisp.
Never mind that. What are you doing with that newspaper?
I wanted to show it to you, Abbott. My Sam Shovel Detective series is becoming so popular, the newspapers have taken it off the radio page and put it on the front page. Look.
Wait a minute. I don't see it on the front page.
There it is. There it is. Under crimes committed in Los Angeles today. And besides that, I'm getting more fan mail than ever. Listen to this one. Dear Lou Costello, if your Sam Shovel Detective series is not the funniest program on the air, then I'm not the next president of the United States.
Who's it from?
Tom Dewey.
Well, never mind that. What is your Sam Shovel Detective mystery for tonight?
It's one of my latest cases, Abbott. I call it the case of Clarence, the dress designer who gave himself up to the police, or I'm all yours in buttons and bows.
And now to the further adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yes, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, Private Detective. I'm sitting here in my little office. It's mighty chilly in here. I think I'll throw another log on the fire. Every time I build a log fire in my office, the landlord complains. Maybe it's because I have no fireplace. I pick up the newspaper. I drop it on my desk. It was the Mirror. I read the one ad. Woman who washes Mondays and Tuesdays wants place to hang out on Wednesdays. Here's another one. Wanted man to teach nuclear division of atomic astrophysical cyclotronic fissures. No experience necessary. I glance out of my window to see what's playing in the movie across the street.
Chicago. Cleveland. Boston.
Must be that new picture, The Cry of the City. Next door to the movie is a Hollywood nightclub. Those Hollywood nightclubs cut the liquor so much the bartenders have to have a barber's license. In the winter, they have to put alcohol in the whiskey to keep it from freezing. I remember once my pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad, was so disgusted that he went into that joint to drink himself to death. He didn't get drunk, but there was so much water in the whiskey he nearly drowned. Suddenly the phone rings. Sam Shovel speaking.
Sam Shovel, you're on the spot. Get wise to yourself. You've got to play ball with us.
Who are you?
UCLA football team. We'll play anybody.
One line went south. I look out the window again. Crowds, nothing but crowds. Everybody doing the last-minute Christmas shopping. The crowds give me an idea. I'm going to write to my congressman to have them change Christmas to April. The stores aren't so crowded then. In the crowd, I see my pal, Lieutenant Abbott. Abbott is the cheapest guy in the world, all year round. But when Christmas comes, he'd give you the shirt off his back. I know. Last year for Christmas, he gave me a dirty shirt. Lieutenant Abbott is a great detective. He worked on the Morelli case, and in 2 days he had it sewed up. Then he got the Mary case, and it only took him 3 days to sew that up. Then came the famous Lewis case. He sewed it up in 24 hours. He never carried a gun. Just a sewing machine and 3 extra bobbins.
Hello, Sam Shovel. Sam, tomorrow's Christmas Eve, and I dropped in to find out what you want for Christmas.
Well, I live just a stone's throw from Hetty Lamar's house, and my bedroom window is just a stone's throw from her window.
What do you want for Christmas, Sam?
A stone. Lieutenant, why don't you send me some mistletoe so I can kiss the girls under it?
That's not mistletoe. That's mistletoe. Missile, not muscle.
When I want to kiss a girl, I got to use muscle.
Sam, I want you to help me on a job. I've been assigned to guard at a department store during the Christmas rush.
I guarded the Broadway Hollywood store last Christmas. I put a man on the 5th Street door, a man on the Broadway door, a man on the 6th Street door.
How did you make out?
They didn't lose a single door. But all the windows were stolen.
Come on, Sam. We're going down to the store right now. Sam, this is a big store. They sell anything from sailboats to a pound of pecans.
I see. They got everything from sloop to nuts.
Come, gentlemen, you'll have to go to work right away. The shoplifters are stealing everything in aisle 9.
Where is aisle 9?
Well, this is aisle 7, that's aisle 8, and that... How do you like that? They stole aisle 9.
I think I like this job. Say, who is that gorgeous girl behind the crowded counter?
Oh, that's Miss Fairchild. She works in ladies' slippers.
She's beautiful. What else does she do?
She just works in ladies' slippers, that's all.
Hey, wait a minute. Look, that kid. He just stole a pair of roller skates. I'll get him.
You let go of me! Let me go, you copper! Let me go!
I'll teach you to steal. I'm going to lock you up.
Lieutenant, I'll take charge of this case. You keep your eye on the store. Come with me, son.
Please don't take me to jail. Please don't take me to jail.
I didn't have the heart to take that kid to jail. He didn't look like a bad kid. He was poorly dressed. His face was dirty, but I could still see some of his freckles. His name was Johnny. I took him to my little office and sat him down in a chair. I could see he was scared, plenty scared.
Gee, Mr. Shovel, I don't want to go to jail.
And I don't want you to go to jail, son. That's why I brought you here. Those were plenty expensive roller skates you took off the counter in that store, Johnny.
Oh, gee, they were only $1.98.
I'm not talking about the cost in money, Johnny. It's the cost in shame and disgrace. Not only to you, but to your mom and your dad.
Gee, I never thought about that. Mom and Dad.
That's the trouble with doing the wrong thing, Johnny. Most time it hurts others more than the guy that does it.
Gee, you're a funny guy. You're supposed to be a detective, a cop. And me and the kids in my neighborhood, we ain't got no use for coppers. But, gee, I kind of like you. You don't talk like no cop. You're more like a friend.
Johnny, cops aren't bad guys. Every cop on the force wants to be the friends with every kid on his beat. When a kid is in trouble, if he'd run to a cop instead of away from him, he'd find out that cops are pretty regular fellows. You see, Johnny, you're a kid and I'm a cop. But lucky for us, we're both living in a wonderful country. A country that's interested in the welfare of its children. Our police know that no kid wants to be bad. It's just bad environment. Neglect on the part of parents. Lack of love and understanding. That makes a kid go wrong.
Yeah? And are you sure that all cops is my friends?
All cops, Johnny.
Ah, there you are.
Even him?
Even him.
don't know what this is all about, Sam. But I gotta get this kid to the lockup. This is Christmas Eve, and I gotta...
You gotta get a little of the Christmas spirit, Lieutenant. I think Johnny's very sorry for what he did. He'll never do it again.
Well, he tried to get away from me. He ran from the law. That's a sign of guilt.
Honest, I won't never do it again. I promise I won't.
Besides, Lieutenant, I think I've made Johnny understand that cops are his friends.
Yeah? Johnny, if you know that cops are a kid's best friends, you've really learned something.
Yeah, well, there's only one thing that puzzles me.
What is it, Johnny?
Well, Lieutenant Abbott's a cop, ain't he?
Yes?
Well, how could a guy with a face like that be any kind of a cop?
Oh, Johnny. Johnny, it's Christmas Eve. Listen.
Well, it's Christmas Eve again. I promised my wife I'd be in church, saying my prayers, singing hymns. And here I am in this broken down...
You don't have to be in church for that, Lieutenant. How about it, Johnny? Know the words to that song?
Yeah, I think so.
Johnny, let's try it, huh? What do you say?
Costello will have the last word as usual. But before they do, we'd like you to ponder this.
Costello, before signing off, let's wish all our listeners a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. And I'd also like to say Merry Christmas to our fine crew that helped us put the show together. Our writing staff, which is headed by Eddie Fulmer, with Paul Collin, Pat Costello, Martin Ragaway, and Leonard Stern.
Now, don't forget the swell boys of the band and our leader, Matty Melnick, and our vocalist, Hal Winters.
And a Merry Christmas to our producer, Charles Vander.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody, and Merry Christmas to everybody in Patterson, New Jersey, and all over the world.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. And be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
Calling all detectives. When too many Santa Clauses came to a Christmas party, what happened was something new in the way of crime. That is the situation on this page from my casebook. The casebook of Jerry Browning, private detective. Even a private detective like me, Jerry Browning, can sometimes be a party to crime. It was Christmas Eve, and I was having an office party for some of my friends and clients. I had a date for later that evening to play Santa Claus at a settlement house party, so I'd rented a Santa costume for the occasion. And when I got the idea of having some Christmas cheer at my office, I thought it would be a fine idea to wear the costume, sort of give the party an air of authenticity.
Wearing my costume was a fine idea, except that it also occurred to a good many of my guests. And there already were 4 other Santa Clauses milling around my office. I went up to greet the 6th Santa as he pushed his way in.
Hello, Mr. Browning. The season's greetings to you from Santa Claus.
Oh, hello, Dawson. You're the first Santa I ever met with a southern accent.
Doggone it, Jerry. I've been working on that accent.
That's all right, Dawson. If any kid asks you how come, you tell him you're from the South Pole. Come on in, meet some of my friends. Dawson, you know Louie, though you may not recognize him behind that beard.
Hello, Lieutenant. Sure is nice to meet a cop and not worry what's he got on you.
You're so right, Louie. Dawson, I want you to meet Mr. Wilbur Norris, Vice President of the Great Valley Railroad. Lieutenant Dawson of Homicide.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Norris. So you're Santa Claus, too?
I am Santa Claus. At the party in the terminal tonight. I'll come in on a special train direct from the North Pole.
No reindeer, Mr. Norris?
Reindeer? Lieutenant, I ask you, do children demand electric trains or electric reindeer?
I steered Dawson away from Norris, took him over to meet the leanest Santa Claus in the room. Lieutenant Dawson, meet Mr. John Cooley, head of the Investigations Department of Consolidated Insurance.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Cooley. I've heard a lot about you. It's not true. I'm just as easygoing as the next man if I find anything to be easygoing about, which I seldom do.
I left them to welcome a few more guests, none of them in costume. It looked like 6 Santas would be par for the course. Circulating among my guests, I noticed with amusement that the other Santas had gradually drifted together, like people all of one kind usually do. Then, about an hour later... Hello, Jerry Browning speaking. Who'd you say this was? Mr. Standish at the Veterans Hospital? Is there some trouble at the hospital, Mr. Standish? What? You're counting on me to come out there this evening as Santa Claus. Oh, there must be some mistake, Mr. Standish. I have a date at the Sarah Jennings Settlement House as Santa. Well, no, sir. I never got any message from you last week. I'm very sorry, Mr. Standish. I just can't disappoint the kids. I'm sure you'll be able to get somebody else. It was just one of those things. A message I didn't get. But I felt terrible all the same, thinking of those guys at the Veterans Hospital. Well, if I couldn't be there, at least I could pay for the price of a professional Santa. I reached into my pocket for my wallet and felt nothing. My wallet was gone. And only a second later...
I've been robbed. My wallet's been stolen.
John Cooley grabbed his own pocket.
Lock the door. My wallet has also been stolen.
We locked the doors all right, and then took inventory. My wallet was gone, so were those of Wilbur Norris, John Cooley, Lieutenant Dawson, and Louie. Every man in a Santa costume had been robbed, and nobody else.
Just a minute, Jerry. There was one more Santa Claus in this room than there are now. Who was the 6th Santa?
I thought about that for a while. Why, I don't know. I just assumed he was somebody I knew. Didn't anybody get his name? It developed that nobody got the strange Santa's name, and that the Santas in conversation had referred to one another as Santa or Mr. Claus. And nobody had noted the exact moment when the 6th Santa left the party with the wallet for the others. At that point, John Cooley had a thought.
Browning, you were not one of our little group in costume. When did that spurious Santa have an opportunity to steal your wallet?
Why, he didn't have any chance. I took my wallet out to pay the delivery boy just before I got that phone call, and there was nobody near me while I was talking on the phone. Hello, Jerry Browning speaking. Lieutenant Dawson? Yeah, he's here. Dawson walked over, took the phone.
Lieutenant Dawson, homicide. Wilton's department store burglarized? But, Commissioner, I'm homicide, not burglary. Well, no, Mr. Commissioner, I wasn't arguing with you. I was just explaining that I... Yes, sir, I'll go right over there. I'm sorry, Jerry. I got to go over to Wilton's, find out who'd steal a flock of stuff, and then leave the money to pay for it on a cashier's counter.
Wait a second, Dawson. Somebody broke into Wilton's after it was closed, took a lot of things, and left the money to pay for them? Dawson, this I have to see. Norris, Cooley, and Louie insisted on coming along, too. On the way, we took inventory of our losses. They came to $900. The situation at the store was exactly as the commissioner had said. A flock of merchandise removed from departments all over the store, and on the cashier's table...
Well, I'll be doggone. $900, Jerry.
Something peculiar was going on. I stared at the money and had a creepy feeling. What kind of merchandise is missing? The store manager answered that one.
We haven't fully accounted for everything, but it seems to be all things for men. Shirts, jackets, shaving sets, writing paper, fountain pens, pipes, tobacco.
That's enough. I turned to Dawson. I've got a hunch, Dawson, and don't ask me how I got it, but I think we'd better go out to the Veterans Hospital. Mr. Standish, the hospital superintendent, met us at the door.
I'm delighted to see you, Mr. Browning, but it wasn't necessary for you to break your date. We got a Santa Claus after all.
I looked beyond Standish into a room where a group of men in bed were opening packages and generally having a fine time. Who was your Santa, Mr. Standish?
Why, I don't exactly know. I assumed he was one of your friends, Mr. Browning, because he said you were sorry about not being able to show up. And he intimated that, that you and your friends had chipped in together to buy gifts for the boys.
Nothing wrong, is there? Huh? No, nothing wrong. Nothing at all. And by the way, how did this Santa come here?
In a carriage drawn by horses. Thought it a bit odd. Come to think of it, how did he get through the gates? The gateman didn't phone up here about it.
Just then Dawson came running up.
We'll get that guy, Jerry. I got the footprints of the horses, and here's some hairs one of them must have shed. We can identify an animal by its hair just as easily as a human being.
Yeah, Dawson, sure we can. I steered our group toward the door. Sorry we bothered you, Mr. Standish, and tell the boys Merry Christmas from all of us. Norris, Cooley, and Louie exchanged looks. Then...
Jerry, me and Mr. Norris and Mr. Cooley decided if it's all the same to us, we just as soon forget about that dough. And we got to get going. Very busy night ahead.
Well, that was just about all. We never did recover the money, though each of us got his wallet back by mail. Nothing missing except the money. We never learned the identity of the sixth Santa Claus either. But the day after Christmas at the crime lab, where Dawson insisted on taking the horse hairs for examination...
Jerry, the lab man says these are reindeer hair. What do you think about that?
I smiled at him. Dawson, I haven't got a thought in my mind. And that was absolutely all. Like I said, there are parties to crime, and mysterious parties are the second part. And for my part, my sole comment is, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.